We good, Billy?
Yeah. Yeah.
We should be good.
Okay. Welcome to the planning board meeting for May 8th, 2026. Nothing. No, I'm good. I'm gonna do a quick roll call. Hillary,
Here.
Nat,
Here.
Joe,
Here.
alternates. Got it. We've got, what's his name?
Howard.
Howard and Steven. Wow.
That's what happens to me. It happens to me.
Please. Please. Okay, you guys, enough. You're here. Okay, great. Staff members, we have Meg.
Here.
Do we have Leslie's online?
I'm here.
Great. Catherine and Sarah? That's it.
I'm sad.
Oh, Mr. Sod, but that goes without
here.
saying. We couldn't have a meeting without Mr. Sod. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Um, public comment for those things that aren't already on the agenda. Okay. All good. All right, on to the minutes. Hillary, were you satisfied with the changes? Great. So we have March 9th, March 12th, and April 13th.
No, that was
Nope.
a typo. We only have March 9th and 12th. I had the 13th in my staff report.
Good. Okay. Right, great. So March 9th and March 12th, everyone okay with those? Entertain a motion, please.
Motion to approve the 9th and the 12th minutes. Second.
Motion made by Nat, seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. On to second dwellings, 88 Pocomo Trust. Stephen L. Cohen, trustee, 86 and 88 Pocomo Road. Any board members have questions, or are we all good?
Motion to approve secondary dwellings.
Second.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Nat. All in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Okay, on to A&Rs. As the board members and staff already know, we have a large collection of A&Rs this month. All but 6 are what would be considered a freeze plan. I believe. Meg, could you explain why a homeowner would do this?
So we often see an uptick in the filing of perimeter plans right before town meeting. What a perimeter plan does is it frees uses in existence for 3 years. So when you have, a lot of moving parts with use changes, as we did this past town meeting, sometimes we see this come forward. So it's through the subdivision control law. It's a matter of state law that allows property owners to do this as their right to protect their zoning. That's the short of what these perimeter plans do.
So it basically protects the property owner from the changes in zoning, allowing them to protect those rights that they would have lost through the zoning change.
Correct, for use changes only for a period of 3 years.
Okay.
But did we have any of these?
We had them when we did pools. We
No,
had
I
them when
just
we
mean
did.
For these particular. Is this, we didn't change any of these zones, did we?
We changed their ability to, we've taken away tertiaries and we've not allowed them to have a separation of ownership of tertiaries going forward, correct? Is that what we did that they're probably protecting?
So we've removed the definition of tertiary dwelling and all of the things that come with that.
But you can have.
And
a
we've-
tertiary covenant, though.
You can still do the tertiary lot. That's not impacted by the use change. So we've removed the tertiary dwelling. We've made some changes to the secondary dwelling. So this would, and I didn't go through district by district on doing an analysis about what could happen in each of these, but it protects against those changes. So they can move forward with those uses as they were in existence prior to town meeting for a period of up to 3 years. Okay,
Okay.
so the plan would need to have been filed with the town clerk prior to the vote of town meeting, not the planning board endorsing it. The planning board then has 21 days to endorse. So that's why you see so many of them on your agenda tonight.
Everyone good? Understand? I mean, not that we have control over this, it's an A and R.
I just have to recuse on one.
Okay, which one?
21 Fairgrounds Road, Charles Gardner. The rest is all good.
Right, so I am not gonna read all of these.
Yeah.
Okay, but we are gonna pull 21 Fairgrounds Road out. And we're gonna vote that separately. So I'd entertain a motion on all the rest, please.
Motion to approve all the A&R plans except for 21 Fairgrounds Road.
Second,
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Hillary, all in favor?
All right.
Aye,
Aye.
that's unanimous, okay. Okay, the A&R application for 21 Fairgrounds Road.
Motion to approve.
I'm sorry, okay, I got it. All right, go ahead.
Motion to approve.
second,
Motion made by Nat, seconded by Hillary, all in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. All right. We're on to preliminary plans, CVE Skyline Nominee Trust 46 Lovers Lane Trust, 46 Lovers Lane, 8 Skyline Drive. Dan Malloy.
Mr. Chair, I bought this property, so I'm going to turn off.
Oh, okay, so Leslie is gonna stand away from this one.
Good evening, Dan Malloy for the applicant. So we've got a preliminary plan here before you tonight. Just going to pull it up. So the property is located between Skyline Drive and Lovers Lane. I believe it's commonly known partially as Serenity Farm. There's a large barn out there, a house and a pool. Used to be some horse paddocks out there years ago. So the owner is looking to develop the property. So the preliminary plan here proposes 6 building lots. It is split zoned. A very small portion, a square portion of the property off of Lovers Lane is LUG 1. The balance of it is LUG 2. So that levels it out to work out in this way. What you'll see overall in the property, starting all the way from the right, is a very long triangle. That property all the way to the right encompasses part of the town drainage system. There's under construction now for Lovers Lane, just as a general reference point.
Paper road.
Then you've got vacant lot in the middle, another vacant lot, and you've got a very large, kind of odd shaped lot in the middle right there. The purpose of that lot, possibly to be joined with another one, is to deal with ground cover. So you can see in the middle, there's a very large barn structure in the middle there. They're trying to preserve that, work lines around it. So you'll see some funny lot shapes in there. We've got all of the lots except for one accessing off of Lovers Lane. One property right now where the existing driveway is would come off of Skyline Drive. The intent would be to bring a small road off of Lovers Lane, access everything on the back with only, like I said, only one lot coming off of Skyline Drive. Other than that, it's a typical small rural road with a gravel road. We would be all on septic systems. We don't have access to town sewer here. We do have access to town water. On top of that, there are no wetlands, no endangered species. There's no no certain environmental concerns. It is in the wellhead protection district. But right now, we're just looking to get this in front of you to get your general thoughts on this, if you have any specific concerns.
Great.
So-
Thank you. Board members? Questions, concerns?
Dan, can you just refresh me on that? Wasn't there like a paper road that we got the drainage in from?
There was a
Lovers?
bunch of
I
paper
remember this.
streets.
I just don't remember exactly how this worked, but I remember there being this like amazingly, convenient little way of getting that drainage or I can't remember what it was. Was it water, drainage? What was it?
There were
Something
paper streets that crisscrossed all the way through this portions of the property, and
Yeah.
the property owner at the time, when Lovers Lane was being built, was negotiating with the town to get rid of the paper streets, and I think as part of that, whatever
They
that
let us
arrangement
put it in.
was, got rid of
Yeah.
the paper streets and the easement came to be.
So there's two different zoning districts in this lot?
So the little square you see on Lovers Lane is LUG 1.
Yeah,
The rest of it's LUG 2.
okay. Haven't seen that in a while. All right,
Not many lots like this left.
no. So what's the total square footage of this whole property?
It's 11 and a half
Roughly.
acres, so you're talking 40,000 square feet.
Yeah,
It's a big one.
yeah. Okay,
And the intent, I think, to try to work with everybody in the neighbors is to come off of Lovers Lane. That's the new road. It's easily accessible. It doesn't promote a lot of traffic on Skyline.
See a lot of buffer going on here. A lot.
What do you mean by a lot of buffer
Like plantings.
planting?
Yes.
deer fence.
Oh, maybe not that, but,
Cow.
right. Everyone good here? I mean, it's pretty straightforward, it seems.
So this is another subdivision plan where we're minimizing the roadway and making it really, really small and having this very sharp corner on a narrow roadway and a half circle. Again, not keeping the utility easements and other easements that we might need in the future. We're not actually keeping that in the roadway layout. We're keeping those through an easement to make maximum space available to create the building lots. So no, I mean, I think this is a plan that is asking for a bunch of waivers that I don't necessarily see how it benefits the public. I understand how it allows you to create more lots, but I know it's a preliminary plan. But I think this sort of plan, we should see the waivers that are being asked for, understand what it's about. Certainly hear the viewpoint from the neighbors, but I would have concerns about this number of lots, about the width of the roadway, the number of waivers that are being asked for, and really what the public benefit is for it. My feedback.
Yeah, honestly, I think even with the lot sizes, even with the wider road, he's gonna get this many lots. If he jiggered it, then, to be honest with you, but what this
Yeah,
is.
I think we'd like to see that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we'll see that when we get to the next stage, and we have a public hearing, so.
Do you want to recognize Ms.?
This isn't really a public hearing, but you're welcome to come up if you keep it brief, please. Yeah, no, and that's fair. I'm not sure he's able to answer a lot of questions right now since this is a preliminary plan, but you're welcome to stand up, please, and ask those questions. State your name.
Darla Stuckey, I'm barely in a butter. I am at the very tiny end of the triangle where the new drainage is. I'm just curious about that lot, that triangular lot at the end. I would say, very happy that the plan doesn't have people going off Skyline. So I would support the entrances off Lovers. But I'm just curious with that drainage, how big is that lot? Do you know? Or is it lug 2? It's more than 2 acres, going to be a house, I presume, or a compound or?
So the lot at the end of the triangle with the stormwater, that's a lug 2 lot, so it has to be 80,000 square feet minimum.
But isn't some of that drainage on that point?
So the drainage is on that, drainage, so the town has an easement over lot 1.
Yep.
So that's, if you can, it's hard to see in the plan, there's a dashed line that goes around. That's all drainage easement. That's all the
Can they-
stormwater system.
Can they build on that? Can you build on that?
We cannot build on it. It has to be left open space. It's part of the town system.
Okay.
Which
Okay.
is good for you if you're at the end of that point. So I think that
Sure.
that works to your benefit.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right. We need to vote on this? Yes. Okay. So if no other board comments, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve preliminary plan.
Did you have more to say, Haley? I
Yeah,
don't,
please.
don't mean to.
No, I don't have anything more to say, but.
I think that the things that you really want to dig into will come at the next step. So, motion's been made by Joe.
Second.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Nat, all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
No.
All right, that's 3 ayes and 1 no.
Can I just real quick ask Megan a question?
Yeah.
I know Leslie's on and she recused
No,
because of
yeah.
no, whatever, but this is what we used to do, but no one remembers the rural road alternative, and I've been thinking about the places that we did it. One of them is Westmore Lane. The little thing goes in there before you get to the actual Westmore Club on the Westchester Street side. And that was benefiting the look of the island, like not requiring these like crazy paved roads that we didn't want. We wanted the narrower gravel or maybe asphalt, but narrow, right? And I just think that we need to bring that back into the conversation when we look at these, because there's so few of these now. This doesn't happen that much. We used to happen all the time. And I just think that it's appropriate to sort of reset that conversation. This is not like a waiver of like a real subdivision special permit, totally different situation. This is a way to do a road that isn't looking like somewhere else. You know what I mean? Or back in the 80s and when there was a lot of land and this stuff was happening. So that's my point. I just want to bring that up as something that we should discuss at some point, whether it be the next meeting or whether it be when this comes back to us. Because that's what we did. And then people were happy about it. That was like, we were essentially obligated to do that because of the nature of some of these subdivision plans. So, thank you.
So being the person who voted no, because I don't like the narrow roadway, it's not that I want really wide roads, it's that the roadway can be narrow. The question is there going to be land that actually belongs to the town for the easement that follows our regulations, or are we okay with, having the easement? So the layout is specified in the subdivision plan, and we can make the road doesn't have to be as wide as the full layout, but the layout is there for, things that might come up later. And also just to protect the public, to make sure that there's enough land available to service the area.
But there is a 10-foot utility easement going along the side of the road.
Right, but it's not part of the layout.
So one thing on these, just to be clear, so the way these roads work, regardless of whether it's a 40-foot layout, 20, whatever it happens to be, it's still private.
Yeah.
So the town isn't going to own any of this. So there'll be some type of a right of way, whatever that width determines to be. And there will still be some type of an easement next to it for utilities, regardless of the right of way width.
Yeah.
And that'll all be part of the, excuse me, part of the HOA.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I just think that I think it puts the board in asking for approval of this plan without seeing, what is a plan that follows the subdivision regulation? Like, we're not seeing what it would look like if you followed all the regs, and we're also not seeing the list of waivers. So we're kind of approving a plan without all of the information. That's why I voted no. It's just that I think that when we're going to be asked for preliminary vote, we should see all the information. And that's probably what I'm going to say about the next one too.
Okay. All righty. On to, Paul and Susan Bellinger at 11 Williams Lane. Mr. Malloy.
Evening again. So the family is looking to do, well, let me back up. So what you have in front of you is a 3-lot subdivision. It's a 19,000 square foot property on Williams Lane. It is zoned R5, has adequate area for 3 lots. The property as it sits today is short 4 feet to do a simple 2-lot A&R subdivision. They have just over 96 feet of frontage in Williams Lane. They need 100. So we have the preliminary plan in front of you, but its main intent is to show what could be possible. I'll get right to the point of this. What the owners are really looking to do is a 2-lot subdivision. The purpose of the preliminary plan is only to show you this is what potentially could be built here. What we'd like to do is come in with a 2-lot subdivision. Very simple. Again, we're short 4 feet on Williams Lane. Otherwise, we could just do an A&R plan. With the long-term goal is being a rear lot subdivision.
Yeah.
So realistically, what we'd like to do is get a preliminary plan approval, come back and get likely a smaller road approval required subdivision approval, likely only showing 2 lots. Follow that up with a 2-lot rear lot subdivision plan. Again, only because they'll be oversized lots. It's R5 zoning with 19,000 square feet. So we'd have 2 lots. At the end of the day, the goal is to get to 2 lots, call it 7,000 or 8,000 square feet, depending on how it's cut up. And that's it. So I'm not trying to sneak one through with the 3 lots, but just to show what, in a full build out, this is what it could possibly look like, but not what we're looking to do.
Great. I prefer the rear lot myself.
Let's do it.
It's odd shaped lots. That's what it's for.
Concerns, questions, anybody?
Well, again, I guess I would say, let's see, I don't understand why we're looking at are we being asked to approve a preliminary plan of something?
So a preliminary plan doesn't bind you or anybody else to anything.
But it's not binding, but it is indicative. It's just confusing to say, okay, this looks great when I just don't understand it. It's not something that you're gonna do, so.
But it's part of the
He's
process.
showing what can happen in a conventional AR. That looks terrible, but it's legal. And it isn't really the right way to do it. And then showing that proof so that the real lot subdivision can go
So
through the
Right.
process.
Well, but it's also not possible to do this because it's short as far as the frontage and.
No.
No, that's
There-
the frontage
this
to
is-
A and R. This has got
this-
enough
the-
land, it just doesn't have the frontage on the public roads.
But
So-
by
Do an A&R.
creating the road, they're getting the frontage.
Getting the frontage off that road.
Right,
Yeah.
so we're,
Creating the frontage
no, I
here
understand.
instead of
Yeah.
here.
Okay,
so we're showing you a plan that if this plan were pursued as you're seeing it on the screen would require plan road waivers. Require waivers on layout width, probably roadway width, several other things. But the excessive size of this lot, we could come in here with a fully compliant 2-lot approval required plan with a 40-foot layout and all these other large cul-de-sacs,
We don't.
which
want-
would get us to the same place. We still, at the end of the day, are only looking to do a 2-lot rear lot subdivision plan. So we certainly get into all that detail when we come back with the approval required.
thank you.
Motion?
We don't really Do we have to approve that? This is
We had
different
to
than the
vote,
previous.
we had to vote
Okay.
the last one, yeah.
Okay. Make a positive motion for the preliminary plan, or
Second.
the
Right,
approved plan, excuse me.
Motion made by Nat, seconded by Joe, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And if it could just be clear in the minutes that this is not being asked to be built, right?
Yeah,
That's
neither,
correct. So this
neither was the
approval
first
is
one.
Not,
Binding.
Not like,
approval of the preliminary plan is not binding.
I wish we
in
could come
any
up with a
way.
new word
Yeah.
for that,
Yeah.
because it's the, we're approving a proof plan that isn't gonna be what
They're
comes
gonna come
forward, but.
back.
Yeah, I didn't come up with the process.
I know.
the State of Massachusetts did.
All righty,
I have to recuse on the next one, so I'll step up to the back of the
Oh.
room.
okay,
All right.
so we're on to previous plans.
Just a quick note on that. That's a subdivision, not an MCD.
Okay,
Oh.
and is John here?
It's a sub,
Just
it
a
was
typo.
originally a subdivision approval.
right.
I just copied and pasted.
It's all right, William.
Is John online?
No, I don't see John.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to ask you, does 12 Hannibal Lane?
Oh. Don Bracken has his hand up.
Oh, okay, great.
Don, I'm just giving you permission to talk. I'm not moving you over.
Welcome, Don.
Hello.
Okay, there we go.
Well,
This one came up.
You're gonna represent-
We hear you, Don.
Okay, I thought John was gonna be here for this, but that's fine. I can sort of explain what's going on. I think this is the last lot in the development. It's the corner lot. And when we were doing the site plan, for it, we came across an old bike path easement going across the front of the property that was reserved as part of the subdivision approval. And it's only across our front of the property and goes across where the roadway entrance is. And so it was put in place as a placeholder in the event that the town ever wanted to have a bike path on that side of the road. And it looks like on Nobodere Farm Road, and doesn't look like that's ever going to happen. So we're asking to modify the subdivision to not require this 15-foot wide bike path going across our lot along Nobodere Farm Road.
Ready?
Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
that easement was put into place probably in the early 2000s, maybe around like 2005-ish.
03.
And it wasn't too far off from memory.
No, you were close.
Anyway, at that time, we weren't really sure what we were going to do for pedestrian infrastructure improvements in that area. So some of these easements were required, and those easements have since been released. I think this may be the last one, and it really does not make any sense to, hold them to that easement at this point in time, and I would recommend that you release it.
Great, thank you, Leslie.
And
Not-
to add to that, Leslie, thank you for dusting that one off the shelf for a little bit. So Nobodere Farm Road is 30 feet, which is like unbelievable. How did that just never get fixed 40 years ago? I have no idea. But that's insane, okay? So when the coffin pit got done, that's when the infrastructure that you see now was put in from that approval. So this is way older than that. So Leslie's
This is
right.
Pre.
I
Nat
mean,
Lowell.
this is pre-Nat Lowell, exactly. I mean, I was, whatever. I don't know, writing letters in the paper. But anyway, so this is because of the original plan that we were trying to get some land to do something, but no one knew what we were doing yet. So I don't even think Small Friends was built when this was done, but I think New School might have been, not sure.
I don't think so.
So anyway, I'm in favor of obviously removing that, Dawn. It's just it's good for people to know how these things happened, especially when it's in, this century. Which is actually interesting. Not one of those 1799 roads, Joe,
Look at that.
Anyway. So,
Anybody else, questions, comments?
I had a question. So just to confirm, we're just talking about the frontage on Novadear Farm Road, right?
Yes.
he wants to remove that old.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're not talking about, just on
just
Novadear Farm
that.
Road. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And there's also a utility easement there, and there are power lines there. So we're just talking about the bike path, not any other easement, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. And then there was some information about, reconfiguring shared driveways. Did that all get worked out?
This is Don Bracken again. At one point, there was a shared driveway easement with the abutting lot to the west, but then that was modified with a subdivision modification as well. So currently there is no shared driveway easement between this property and the property next door. But all along Hannah-Bia, there are other common driveway easements.
So there's no outstanding issue with some shared driveway that was supposed to be shared and wasn't, that all got resolved?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. That's that. I would entertain a motion.
Okay, so this is a minor modification, not an MCD.
Subdivision. Minor
So this is a
subdivision.
Not a
regular majority. Okay, I'm just checking. So I'll make a motion to approve the minor mod of the original subdivision plan
Second.
with the findings, the two findings.
Motion made by Nat, seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And that's unanimous. On to Real Keeper LLC, 10 Surfside Drive. Is a re-endorsement. Dan Malloy.
Yeah, Dan Malloy, just looking for the plans to be endorsed. Nothing else special with this at all.
So I'm going to abstain from this one since this happened before I was involved.
Now, refresh me on this one.
So this was an approval required subdivision that was later turned into a rear lot subdivision. And at the time this was all approved, the board was not requiring that the approval required plan be endorsed,
Okay,
just that it be approved. So we're just following up to get it endorsed, just to close the file on it.
So this has already been acted upon? or-
Already been acted upon,
So it's-
fully
yeah.
approved.
All right,
everything.
great.
Yeah.
Comments, questions?
If none, motion to approve and be
Second.
endorsed.
second.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Nat. All in favor? Aye.
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 And I'll abstain.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dan. Okay, on to public hearings. We got, I'm gonna take this in one vote, as long as no one has to recuse. We've got continuations to June 8th, 2026 on Nantucket Woodland Limited Partnership, 13 and 13A Woodland Drive, White Elephant Hotel Residency LLC, 19 North Water Street, Nantucket Island Resorts LLC, 3 White Elephant Way, 6 Rugged Road Realty Trust, Matthew Fee, Trustee 58 Fairgrounds Road, Scott Carson 59 Old South Road, and 5 Bean LLC at 48 Novadear Farm Road, all to be continued to June 8th, 2026.
I'll make that motion to continue all of these as mentioned.
Great.
Second.
Motion made by Nat, seconded by Joe. Nat.
Aye.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
All in favor?
yeah, I know. That's, don't.
Going back to the old
Yeah, I
ways.
was about to say, what are we doing?
Can't remember names, going back to the old ways. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. Nat, you're gonna take this next one?
Yep.
I'm gonna recuse.
Okay. Where are we?
So Stephen and Howard will both need to be activated on this because it's a special permit.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Paul, how are you?
Very good.
Evening, good afternoon. Because, the sun stays up longer now, so we'll say good afternoon
Yeah.
right now. would you like to introduce where we are?
Sure.
On this approval?
Thank you. For the record, Paul Santos with Nantucket Surveyors on behalf of the property owner, Gibo and Company Holdings LLC, and also the tenant doing business as Wordham Training Center. And with me tonight is Andre Dobrzinski, who is the owner and tenant for the subject property. This property is located at 4 Lovers Lane. We were before you last month and received approval for an exterior seasonal 6 months at a time area to be located on the property for a workout area on in the exterior of the site. That required the reallocation and relocation of some of the parking. That was discussed at the last meeting. At that time, the fact that there was a tent that had been erected on the property, and I had not asked for a special permit for the tent, as the tent would exceed the 30 days allowed per calendar year. So we're before you tonight to ask for the erection under 139-2A of a tent for a period exceeding 30 days per calendar year. Applicant is requesting to erect a 15 by 30-foot tent on the subject property seasonally for a period of 6 months. Having said that, the tent is currently in place and had been erected prior to the first special permit meeting. Subsequently, we also amended the site plan to reflect the tent location, and also we added in the area where there was some exterior heavy bags at the building, and those are depicted adjacent to the or along the south side of the existing structure. You have before you a recommendation from staff, which we have no issues with the exception of that there is condition 2, the outdoor exercise area, including any associated tent structure, shall be limited to hours of operation of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and shall not be used outside of these hours. I think this was discussed at the last meeting. There was no restriction on the 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We had acknowledged at the last meeting that there will be no exterior amplified music played on the outside of the facility. Any lighting would be underneath the tent or at the bottom side of the tent directed downward. And I think this may have come about based on the fact that in the body of the staff report, there is a section, planning staff recommends the board use this opportunity to further clarify operational parameters. Since the prior approval, planning staff has received additional comments and photographs from abutters regarding parking concerns, including the continued use of off-site parking areas that were not previously approved as part of the special permit. Those was actually, and upon following up, I followed up with the zoning enforcement officer because we believe that complaint did come to Marcus Silverstein. I requested via email to Marcus, could you please send along the recent zoning complaints you have received for the gym? I got a response promptly that said, Paul, had only one person who walked in to voice their concern. To my knowledge, the matter is already with the planning board. And we believe that complaint was a complaint with regard to parking. It may have been a complaint for parking on Lover's Lane. It didn't necessarily have to do with the outside area that we had sought approval for. And to my logic, didn't have anything to do with hours or operation of that outside area. If there is some more information that staff could share, I'm happy to listen to it and address it. But I think the reason we're before you tonight is for the tent, the 6 months, and then obviously we do have an issue with the 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And Andre is here. I believe we spoke about this last time, and I think in my presentation, I did mention 8 AM to 9 PM or somewhere along that line. But Andre is here. We can discuss that further. And if staff has gleaned any more information about what that abutter complaint was, we're happy to discuss that. Also, at the last meeting, I had discussed that Andre had, in coordination with Island Variety, obtained an agreement to park cars in that parking lot after 5 PM when they close. Again, happy to discuss further the staff report and specifically the hours of operation. And Andre is here to give you any more information on that. Also, since the last meeting, we discussed adding another speed bump. That has been done. The placement of the Jersey barriers has been done. All that was done promptly after the last meeting.
So
For
there's
those who
two
didn't-
now?
What?
Or there's two now, right?
There's two
Okay.
speed bumps
I didn't
and
know
the
that.
Jersey barriers were put in place. Those were put in place within, I think, a week of the conclusion of the last meeting.
And before we get to Andre, Paul, did we discuss a 1 year? You know,
I
thing?
believe we did.
I think we did.
A
Maybe.
review
If
after
we
that
didn't,
first,
we should
after that
have
first
that.
season of operation.
So it would be number 6 then, Meg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I think
this is definitely appropriate for this. Even
I
though
think that's
it's not a
actually tied to the
restaurant,
first,
something like
it's,
that,
it
I
actually
think.
would be tied to the last,
Yeah.
the last approval.
Okay. So what are we looking at for time that you really want? I guess that's the number one.
It's 6
thing.
months. It
No,
would
no,
be-
no, I'm
oh,
talking about
Andre.
the hours of operation.
Yeah, we, the population that we attend.
You have
is-
to introduce yourself.
I'm sorry.
For the record, sorry.
This is Andre Dobrczynski. I'm the owner of the gym,
Okay.
Fort Lovers Lane, Verdun
Thank you.
Training Center. So the popularity that we attend, mostly workers in Nantucket, they come at 4:30 AM and they leave before 7 AM. That's the gross part in the morning, which there's nobody around. Then after 6:30 PM, which is all workers that finish their work at 6, 5:30, take shower, come to the gym, and they stay until 10, 11, and stuff like that. So those are the hours that are most important for us to have, you know, the tent to attend these people and not get too crowded on the inside. Plus, it's way healthier, especially on the spring to summer and the end of summer, to be outside instead of the inside. And they look for those times to be working out. So we wish to attend our people the best we can.
Before I go to the rest of them, did you say 10 to 11 PM?
Yeah.
Or did you say,
Oh,
I wasn't sure. if
So
that's-
4:30 to around 7:30 is the gross of the workers that,
Okay,
you know, they leave to work in the morning. And then after that, after 6:30, I had people leaving at 11:55 on Friday. Not the outside, but the inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
no,
of
no,
course.
that was my
That
next
was-
question.
Yeah, yeah, not
Okay,
the
I was
outside.
Thinking that
Yeah.
they're outside.
So if we can get the tent
midnight.
to work at least till 10 PM is when I start closing out the outside area, covering all the stuff. And I get another, 45 minutes to close the stuff and
Yeah.
turn off the light and all that stuff. Now, of course, we don't have any sound system outside and everything is inside,
That's very important.
I have one question about that. How are you going to provide lighting out there?
So the light is inside of the tent.
And it'll comply with chapter 102?
It doesn't bother anything outside of the tent.
That wasn't my question. though.
Yeah, the dark skies provision, you have to check with,
It has to comply with,
Paul knows what that is.
Yes.
So. I know, just,
Yeah,
He-
it's just.
this is something we approved a while back at town
Okay.
meeting, so.
Hmm.
Okay, board members, anyone have any questions? Or,
So the hours are extensive. Can you?
Yeah.
Are you saying that your gym, the inside of your gym is open at 4:30 in the morning?
Yes.
And it's open until 10,
At-
11 o'clock at night?
We close the door at midnight during the weekdays, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And then Saturday and Sunday, we open at 8. Saturday, we close at 10. Sunday, we close at 8 PM.
And you're asking for the outdoor permit to be what hours?
To be at least till 10 PM.
And what time in the morning?
Well, people don't work out too early outside, so I would say 8 AM to 10 PM.
Thank you.
I'm thinking about who's next to it and all that.
Murray and Coleman. That's what it says. Oh, no, this is, Sherman, Shepley, so next to you?
Yeah, my neighbor on my left side would be Shepley. My neighbor on the right side would be the liquor store. So we don't have any active
Yeah.
leaving people around. Unless the people that leave in the State Forest. Just kidding.
Is there a, like, screening or plastic screening on like 3 sides? Just I'm worried about noise transmission.
Yeah, so the tent has a plastic screening on the front for the front road for Lovers Lane.
Yeah,
And a screen on the back side, which is Shepley.
yeah,
On the other side, I don't because it extends the outside of the gym. So
okay.
This is like new territory for the planning board.
okay.
Well, I mean, I don't think we've ever talked about anything like this before
Mhm.
that I can recall, 19 years. So
Mhm.
bear with us. Like,
Oh, trust
We're-
me,
you're
I'm
not-
very
we're
happy to see.
kind of looking at this like when they started putting outside dining downtown.
Yep.
Like that's new, believe it or not.
Mhm.
It's not been there forever stuff.
I'm glad to be part of
And
it.
and this is like kind of like making me think that way. It's not the same.
Mhm.
And people do eat outside till 10 o'clock.
Yep.
Right.
Mhm.
But this is one of those kind of things where we're sort of, okay, what are we doing here? We've never done this before. And what we have to have some kind of baseline to get to you being able to do this and then coming back to us in a year. If, and whether there's complaints or not,
Yep.
we have to definitely do that.
Mhm.
That's how I see it. Yes, sir. Go ahead,
Mine's
Howard.
good.
Steve.
I think.
Oh, sorry.
So there's no music outside,
Nope.
right? It's all inside. So how does the noise code and the town code cover this? Relative, I'm kind of looking to you because I don't expect you're really going to know the answer, but there's a noise restriction and the noise hours, and if he's compliant with that and it's private property, isn't he within the
Right.
restrictions that are set by the town?
Right. That's where I was headed
I
next.
I
that
know
is
that.
the
That's why I
unknown.
asked that.
Yeah. So Meg, think of this as like a rental and noise and all this craziness that we've been dealing with. This is like a new thing doing a different thing, but the same issue.
Mhm.
If it's compliant with the town, it doesn't really matter what time it is. Kind of.
Well, yes and no. So it's a special permit, so identifying the hours in which it's allowed is important if it's
Yeah.
gonna be something that's different than what the noise bylaw states. The recommended 8 to 5 came as a staff recommendation because that is what Cycle Fitness has on their outdoor. I mean, perhaps they're surrounded by more
Yeah.
residential properties, but they are kind of within the same area of town. So that was a good starting place in our minds for you all to begin discussions. Another thing, just while I have the microphone here, identifying the 6 months, if you're gonna subject it to a 6 months time frame, we need to be specific about what those dates are. So is it a April 15th to October 15th? Is it something different? I mean, you'd have to
That'd be great.
figure that.
Yeah.
Okay.
My reaction was also to think about outdoor dining as a comparable situation. And when I read these suggested times, I also thought that your clients would probably want to come later after work. That was sort of the point of wanting to provide this service. And I think we really do have to take into account the context, which is there aren't residences abutting this area. And I think the noise bylaw, construction noise is different, but just general noise is 10 PM, 7 AM to 10 PM, I think. So
The bylaw doesn't just address construction.
I'm saying the construction is less.
Yes,
This type of activity is until 10 PM.
right.
So anyway, I support the idea of giving it a try with the extended hours that you're requesting, and coming back maybe in, did you suggest October 15th?
So it's allowing it for a 6-month period of time from April 15th to October 15th. I think the prior decision had language, was it come back in 1 year from the filing of the decision? Has
Yeah,
that,
we can change.
was that decision filed, Billy? Otherwise, we can request they come back in October 15th. That's
Yeah,
Fine too.
that's,
Yeah.
that's right.
Or
I
the
wasn't trying to
closest meeting
say.
date after.
It's a learning
October
curve for everybody, so
15th, Right.
I'd rather come back and we
Yeah.
revisit everything. It's gonna be good.
Yeah,
Yes, Steve,
I'll go when you're ready.
go ahead. I'm ready.
So, yeah, special permit, special use, special conditions. I think that's pretty simple.
Mhm.
For me, noise is an issue. I think it's an issue for the community. Anything that comes up, there are typically two issues: noise and parking.
Mhm.
Noise and parking go away, everybody's happy. So in this instance, I do note there are residences within a couple 100 feet. I don't have, the planning board can come back and review this. I would suggest that there would be a review, 3 months in. I think at a bare minimum, there also needs to be a designated manager, email address, telephone number, abutters get a copy of it. If there's a problem, they can reach out, they can document it, it can be presented at the next public meeting. Hopefully there aren't any concerns. I'm on the fence with the hours. I think 8 is probably a reasonable start, except for maybe Sunday mornings. 9 or 10 is pretty late without sound attenuation on the southerly side, which is where abutters are. If you guys, I would suggest that if you all think this is going to be a big success and you want to keep it as a big success, that you would get some sound attenuation panels for the inside top of the tent. They sell them for tents. They're not that expensive. And put up some sound attenuation on the southerly side of the tent, solid board, and some rock wool between it. And keep the neighbors from complaining. Because if the neighbors complain, then there's a problem. If the neighbors don't complain, there's no problem. So it's likely more successful for you in the long term to address those things up front. I'm not suggesting that I'm gonna try and, battle over having those be an upfront condition, but I will mention them for the purposes of record keeping and going forward, that they were mentioned, and I think that they would be helpful for you to be successful. The problem with sound is it's gonna bounce off your building and it's gonna channel in behind the Shepley building right over to the neighbors in that area. I just wanted to get out my thoughts, but again, recap, designated manager, in my opinion, for sure, email address, phone number, goes to the abutters. I think 8 to 9 is safer than 8 to 10. And obviously no amplified sound.
So,
Through the chair.
Yep, go ahead.
okay, so what we have right behind the tent is a huge natural fence with pine trees. They're like 20 foot up already. And if you go and stay on the other side on the street after Shepley, you can even hear my sound from the inside of the gym. So the tent itself don't make no sound on the neighborhood whatsoever. Old South Road with the cars passing by makes more sound than the tent.
Yeah, and that's why we have to have the review. This isn't, this is kind of, it's new, and what
Yeah,
you just
I'm
said.
just clarifying because it's this question. I agree.
Yeah.
We should check because I know there's a neighborhood across from Shepley, which is a little bit more far, but I have that fence, the natural fence that protects the sound from the inside of my parking lot.
At this point, simply suggestions, but in the future, they may not be suggestions. They may be requirements.
Exactly.
So if you do some self-monitoring, then we don't have to do policing.
And you know about those soundboard things, they seem to be getting put everywhere now.
Yep.
I've noticed, like around
Mhm.
different places, like all of a sudden there's these square things supposed to
Mhm.
absorb noise. I don't know if they really work or not, but anyway,
May I?
yes, Howard.
Did you requested 6 months?
Yep.
Do you believe it's gonna really be used for those 6 contiguous months, even when
Well-
it's darker and colder outside?
Understand. So the request for 6 months, especially is to put together. because I have to put together in advance. It takes time for us to adjust everything, to put everything up. So I need the time in April to put it together. As soon as we cross April, people
Yeah.
start to use it.
There's a difference in my mind between setting it up and using it, and I was just wondering, some of this noise issue might be mitigated if the period that it was actually occupied and used was
Mhm.
shorter.
Yeah, so the 6 months is important.
But
Of
not
course,
for
as soon as
years.
the cold weather comes, we're gonna close it out and people are not gonna use it, you know. And the amount of people also that is going to use in between the cold months is irrelevant for the noise.
Would you be willing to shorten the 6-month period for the actual use of it, not for the setting up?
After we review this year, of course. Because it helps me too, you know, with the work.
Yeah.
It's less
So
work.
you're asking for 6, but that's not like you're opening that
No,
right that day,
No,
the
no.
first day
I need
one.
the 6 to
It's
get
not like
ready.
a schedule for
Right.
Yeah.
the boat or
Yeah.
something that has to change. I get it. Okay, so he's just looking for like a crossover.
I just want to be on a
grace period.
safe point where
Yeah.
I can start to put it together and someone will come and
Yeah.
raise the flag and say, hey, guys, they're working on there.
Got
Hold
it.
on, it's April. We can work.
Okay. And everyone else, Joe, you good?
Yeah, I'm happy you did a full-scale mock-up for us and that you let this run, but I am agreeing with Steve. I do think the hour is a little bit too late. And I do want a 3-month midway through, make sure no neighbors are having an issue with this. So listen, I know it's what you're doing and I think it's a great thing, but at the same time, I am very nervous about the neighborhood echoing off the building. Who knows, you may have like a couple rowdy people in there one night could, turn this all inward on you. So I just want to be safe. I
Totally.
if everything's run successfully, that's great. But
Mhm.
we've had some parking problems, we've had some other problems. So
Yeah.
we
Great.
just want to be really careful with it.
Great percentage from our clientele comes from those neighborhoods. It's a
Yeah.
walking distance for everybody on that neighborhood. So they all come in. I don't see that people becoming a complaint in the future, but I agree.
Yeah, no, and I've talked to some kids that are going in there in the high school and younger grades, and they just love being in there. So I know what you're doing, and I think it's a great thing. I just think we need to be careful in the location we're at. So,
Yep.
So I agree with a lot of stuff that Stephen and Tyler said.
Mhm.
Mr. Chair, just for did we get a from what date to what date? Yeah.
Also, April 15th to October 15th, if that's good.
Okay, thank you for all your comments. Is there anyone from the audience?
Were you going to
There you
open
are.
a public
Yeah,
hearing on
sorry, I
this?
didn't notice you right away.
Okay, but were you going to open the public hearing?
Well, it is open.
Well, no, it sounds pretty well
Because we
divided
were-
and defined, which is
Because
fine.
it was a kind
I
of.
just don't want to, speak if I'm
No,
not
no,
supposed to.
I was just about to ask and then you asked, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Um,
much for the record.
Thank you, Campbell Sutton. So it seemed to me Shepley is to what I see is the left of him. And what time does Shepley open?
Open 8.
They open at 8?
Yeah, they start working at 8. They open
Okay.
to the public at 10 a.m.
Well, I don't know. On the one hand, it sounds like it's getting ready for a rock concert. And then on the other hand, it's like, well, maybe people lifting weights makes a lot of noise. I don't,
There's no noise
a
at all.
lot of grunting or something. It just seems,
Training, there's no noise at all.
well, I'm just saying that it seems, okay, 2 things. One, I guess I viewed it with a little bit broader hours. And my thing on the 3 months would have been, that a complaint of some sort would trigger a review, right? So to me, both the dark skies and the noise bylaws cover much of this. And then the idea is whether you add hours beyond that. So I believe the noise bylaw is now 7:30, not 7 o'clock. I think we may have just passed that at town meeting with a new noise bylaw. I think, anyway, that was my read of it. And whether, so then the idea is, well, okay, is there a time frame from 10 to midnight that seems available, or pre 7:30, outside of the noise bylaw? I guess my thing would have been to sort of see 10:30, 11 o'clock as something that would be part of something outside of what already covers outdoor situations with the night skies and the noise bylaw. So
I think,
those were just
I think that,
my thoughts.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So I wanted to ask a question of the folks so Billy and Meg, the conversations that were had where people came in to talk about this application, I think my understanding is it was about parking. Did anyone come in to complain about noise?
No,
No.
it was all parking.
It's just
related.
parking. They didn't have a problem with the outdoor gym.
Nope.
No. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Sullivan.
My name is Brian Sullivan, and I want to speak in support of the applicant and the longer extended hours, to the point that Mr. Toppa made about what he's doing with the kids in the community and offering spaces and opportunities. So if the later that you're willing to go with the noise bylaw, if there's adults in the gym and the kids want to be outside or vice versa, I think his service to our community is incredibly admirable, and I appreciate that he's here, and I hope that you can offer him the widest window with a review at the end of his 6-month window. But thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Just for a second, it just says here in the noise ordinance, it says construction and landscaping noise would be prohibited from 7 AM to 8 AM, and then depending on the time of year, and after 6 PM, Monday through Saturday. So I really don't see this as construction noise or landscape noise, so I don't really think it falls within that. And then Sundays, same thing. So I think it's really up to our discretion. So
I just don't think it's that different than outdoor dining. I mean, outdoor dining makes a lot more noise, and I'm fine with the 10 PM stop time. And I mean, it's been going for some time. We haven't had complaints about the gym. I'm sympathetic to people can't get there until later in the summer. It's light out longer in the summer, and we can always reverse this. I mean, we're going to hear about it if it's a
Yes.
problem. So I agree with Mr. Sullivan and maybe some other people.
Yep, I agree. Okay. No one else? Anyone online? Nope.
No hand
Okay.
raised online.
All right, so board members,
Close the public hearing.
is there a second?
second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just like 2005.
Gonna say.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, make a motion.
Yes, sir.
Right, subject to the conditions indicated by staff with the findings as indicated, the conditions modified to include April 15th, October 15th as the dates.
Yep.
That there be a designated manager who will provide an email address and phone number to the abutters from the abutters list for planning board matters and to planning board staff. And the hours of operation would be, let's work on this one, between, well, let's start with Sunday, that's easy, 9 to 6 on Sunday. And I would say 8 to 9. For the purposes of the motion, I'll say 8 to 9, Monday through Saturday, with a review at the 3-month window, starting from April 15th. So you're gonna get this set up, you'll have a review in less than 3 months, because it will be based upon the April 15th start date. So if it's all going well, you can come in. There's no complaints from the neighbors of any material substance, as opposed to, harassment, which was mentioned at some point, which I don't know what happened, but to put it out there. Not at this hearing. And then that will give you an opportunity to perhaps be open until 10 for the rest of the season. So I think that gives us an opportunity. Well, that's the motion.
Second that.
Okay. Any discussion on this? Before we take a vote, anyone have any questions? I mean, I'll just want to make a comment. I wasn't thinking about during the season, but that actually might be better for you to kind of get this out of the way. Is, the newness of this application, it being in a good location, but something we haven't seen before. So if you're willing, if you think I think that might help you to go faster than a full season.
Mhm.
Mr. Chair, I
Go-
just have a quick question with Stephen. Is that a public meeting or a public hearing in 3 months?
I think a public meeting, because that will address, my thoughts coincide with staff's, and I think in this regard, if there is an issue, we will then have to open a public hearing. But to go through the process of a public hearing
Yeah,
prior to that doesn't seem like it's necessary.
undue burden for him.
Yes.
Right.
And then just to have said it, then that, say it's all smooth, great, public meeting. We can then schedule, let me back up a second. The only potential concern is that if we have a public meeting in July, we won't be able to extend the hours, correct, through you, Mr. Chair, to Meg, unless we have a public hearing. So that would not happen until the following, or could we actually extend the hours with just a public meeting?
If you craft the language in the decision that the hours may be altered without a public hearing, you can certainly do that.
Okay, and
Yeah.
I would consider that a friendly amendment to my
Motion.
motion.
I'll second that as well.
There's a lot. Go ahead, Paul. Sorry.
So obviously that's a little bit different, I think, than what we were expecting, but my question would be, we're already 1 month into this. It's been used since April,
Yeah.
that if we're talking about the 3 months, we're talking about April. We're not starting from May, we're starting from the April 15th.
Right.
So we're already 1 month in, so we'll be back here in 2 months technically.
Yeah.
That's the intention.
So, and whether we err on the side of working at it with the 10 PM, they close on 8 o'clock on Sunday anyway, so that Sunday, the whole gym shuts down at 8. If we work towards the start with the 8, and if there's a problem, then we talk about the hours, but rather than starting at the lower and then working our way to the upper.
Well, there's a motion on the floor.
Yeah. Okay.
What about this?
He's talking about 9 versus 10. That's what he's talking.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Yep.
And then we'll have language that if everything's going great, come back in 2 months. And if you really feel strongly about wanting to extend it and you've got, we
Yep.
can talk about that.
Yep.
Just about the Sunday, it seemed, I don't understand why if the gym is open till 8 PM on Sunday, we would make the tent close down at 6 PM on Sunday. I just don't understand the rationale for it. Is it, church? Like, what is it?
I don't know, did we second for discussion or did we second for?
so- I didn't
I mean,
second.
I'm happy to discuss it. I just want to understand the procedure.
Well, I think we're just talking.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know.
I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
So let's
I
just,
mean, my
you can
rationale
get back in
being-
July and
Go ahead, Joe, I'm sorry.
open it up or not.
Yeah.
I think let's just be safe.
I mean, we've already amended the motion once. And I would ask for an amendment to let them stay open until 8 on Sunday. Because
In terms of the beginning,
tent would
the
be
start, yeah,
open.
in terms of the start, if
no, well, then what
start-
time do you open on Sunday?
8 o'clock.
You open at 8. I
Yeah.
think that the hours for the tent should match the hours for the gym on Sunday, 8 AM to 8
And
PM.
in terms during the week, since Shapley opens their job at 7, why couldn't we start at 7? Because they have trucks, they have all the noise.
So we do have a motion on the table and
Okay.
my
Yeah.
requested amendment is only regarding the hours of Sunday to be 8 AM to 8 PM instead of 9 AM to 6 PM.
I'm good with 9 to 6.
Then as am I.
You're,
Same as am I.
you're okay, you prefer that as well.
That's
Okay.
the start. See them in 2 months.
Okay. Okay,
So Stephen
Uh,
has a motion.
I know,
on the
I
floor,
know,
so That
I-
needs to either
okay.
be disposed
yeah.
or.
I-
Let's go.
Yeah.
okay, go ahead. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 I go under.
2 months.
Thank you.
Yep,
2 months. Thank you.
thank you.
So before we get on to the next application and when our chair comes back, no, come back, please. And also for the attention of Mr. Malloy. So I've been thinking about the Williams Lane, approval of the plan. And I'd actually like to personally change my vote, which means I need to make a motion to reconsider. Can I? Make
I don't have a
motion.
problem with that if it's,
Which one was that? Oh, that was,
So procedurally, we'll have to make a motion to reconsider. You'd have to have a majority agree for the reconsideration, and then you can just vote how you're gonna vote.
okay,
Yeah, if we could revote it.
so I need you to make the motion.
I'd like to make a motion to reconsider the vote on 11 Williams Lane.
Do you have a second?
second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Is it the person that made the motion has to rescind the motion? Isn't that? Robert's
Not
rules?
during the same meeting.
No, it has to be if you
Person that voted opposite. to
opposite
the
of what
outcome.
they want to
Okay,
change it
alright.
to.
All right, I'm an aye still.
Yeah,
You're
I'm a
not-
big yes.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I just, you know, I just think the idea of passing a preliminary plan is supposed to indicate that we support the plan, not just that we've heard the plan. So personally, it just didn't sit well with me that, to vote yes on a plan that we don't want to see come back to us.
Okay, no, that's fair. I mean, but you also have to understand the nature of a preliminary plan.
Like-
It's very amorphous. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not supposed to be detailed. It's not detailed. There's a ton of information that goes in the next step, but,
Right.
but
But-
I honor what you want to do
Thank-
here and that's fine. So.
I appreciate that.
Um,
Yeah, I just thought, well, if we ended up denying this and, it would be indicative that we approve this.
Okay.
So you all vote the way you want, obviously, but
Yeah, no, you have a right to do so. So, I would entertain a motion on the preliminary plan for 11 Williams Lane.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Nat, all in favor?
Aye.
nay.
And one against, so 3-1.
Thank you.
Right, yes, you're welcome. Okay, now we're on, is a public
Yeah.
hearing, Tonka Truck LLC, 15 Nancy Ann Lane.
I'm moving Arthur Reed over
Yeah,
right.
great.
Thank you.
Welcome, Arthur. Arthur, we can't hear you.
That's because it takes a minute to get connected up.
Oh, we can hear you loud and clear now, my friend.
Good. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I represent the owner and applicant in this application for the property at 15 Nancy Ann Lane. This is for the operation of the tenant who has a yard here that is used for commercial storage of commercial or other construction supplies, stone and other aggregate, sand, piping materials, other general heavy construction equipment, heavy supplies, that is, not necessarily heavy machinery. Obviously, trucks come in there in connection with this. The lot is at the present is a vacant lot. It's actually being used by my client at the present time, and we've come before the board with this application for major commercial development in order to lay out the plan and show exactly what we're doing and ask for the permit. This property had been the subject of a previous major commercial development, which involved both this and the adjacent property at 13 Nancy Ann Drive. That was a large building that was going to be constructed, and that has since been abandoned by the owner, who has sold the property at 13, which is now owned by a landscaper. And this property is being used, as I say, by the applicant, called Tonka Truck LLC, for the purposes that I described. The site is not open to the public. There is no public access. There are no on premises sales, and there are no structures that are proposed on the property. The layout will involve an area for the storage of these supplies, and an area with parking, as well as an area, a staging area and loading area out in the middle of the lot. The stormwater report as required for this project, which is in the Wellhead Recharge District, has been submitted by Don Bracken, who I believe is on the call as well, and has been reviewed by Ed Pesci for the planning board. And we've read Ed's report, which is fine. It makes sense. Don may have some further comments on it. There are a couple of minor things that Ed has asked to be added to the plan, which I'm sure that Don will be happy to take care of. And there was also a suggestion somewhere along the line about whether the roadway needed any improvement, and that if so, we'd be asked to pay for some improvements to be made to it. But the most recent communication made by Ed Pesci to the planning board, which you may have seen, indicates that the road is in fact in good condition and doesn't need any work. So we would expect that that would not be part of any decision that would be entered. I think that's basically it. If you have any questions, obviously, Don or I would be happy to answer them. And just checking to see whether my client is on the call or not. Doesn't
see
appear
he's
that
on
he
the,
is. He had
he is
asked me
online,
before.
Arthur.
Uh, He's on the
Chris is
line?
online.
Okay.
If you want me to move him over, let me know.
Yeah, please move him over, just in case you have any other questions about the operation, which obviously he knows a lot more about than I do.
Board
There we go.
members.
Yeah, do we have an alternate activated for this?
We do not yet. Did both of you guys sit on the last application? All right, I'm gonna go with Howard.
So I had a number of questions about this. You know, it's, I'm very sensitive to the fact that we need places for people to put industrial stuff. Obviously we need sand and gravel and stuff like that. This is the CTEC area. The vision for the CTEC is, you know, home incubated businesses and workshops and that sort of thing. So that was one concern that I had. I guess we wouldn't want to see this permanently be used in this way, given that the CTEC is a special zone, and this is not an industrial zone. That being said, certainly aware that the other lots are being used to store a lot of abandoned boats and cars and pieces of houses. So it's fully aware of that. The other concern that I had was that there are residential uses right on the other side of the road. So I had concerns about wind-blown dust and dirt. How tall are these piles going to be? And then just noise from trucks backing up and potentially beeping at different hours of the day and night and disturbing the residences that are right on the other side of the street. I also noticed that there were some containers and tractor trailers, and I wondered if we needed, if they'd had permits for those, or, you know, if we need separate permits for those. Those were just a few of my questions.
Okay, great. Any other concerns, board members?
Mine was just because we're in the wellhead district.
Yeah, what's gonna be stored?
So more of the parking, if that could be on a concrete pad that goes into a drainage, almost like a garage. We would have to have some drainage system that cuts any oil or anything. So if it could be pitched together and maybe down at the end of the dash line on the site plan, where it's in a little catch basin, I think that would be great. That would be cleaned every 6 months to a year. I'm not really sure what that is building permit wise, but I think that would be wise. That's kind of one thing that I was having a problem with.
To piggyback on yours, Joe, which I completely agree with. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like this is going to be construction material. I have concerns about storing large amounts of material on the ground in the wellhead recharge and letting it just permeate into the ground. And so I think knowing what those materials exactly are going to be and maybe understanding what that looks like would be helpful. At least for me on this. I know you'll have to get water quality from the water company, correct? But I still have concerns about what those materials are going to be stored, how long they're going to be there, and what's in them. I think is a fair question.
Yeah, I'm not so much on that. Sorry, Mr. Chair. The concrete stock, I get that, but it would be something that was taken off a site that might have material or invasives or something. That's the only time I'd be concerned about that, is something coming not from, off island or clean fill or something like that, or gravel. It would be something that was coming from say it was a septic tank that was
Yeah.
removed and that has, fecal matter and et cetera in there, which, would eventually die over time, but still I would be worried about what it would be stored on this as far as coming from another area. So I don't know if there's a way to line one section for that just to protect himself and the neighborhood and the wellhead. So I think it's really up to how he's going to use it. It's just, that's my concern.
I mean, small contractors end up with stuff just happens. What a lot of places do, that smaller businesses will have separated bins for pea stone, 3/4 native stone, blue stone, whatever. So nothing mixes. And I don't think this is going to be a huge stockpiled, massive piles. I think this is more of a,
It's going to get dumped. It's going to get used.
it's just going to be sort of inventory, but not like a Toscana has or Oget Partners has, that kind of thing. So I just, I see this as slightly different than a sort of industrial type property versus a small business doing that work, but not at a large scale.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
the applicant has his hand raised.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's great.
Yep.
Chris, there you go.
Good
Welcome.
evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes, to answer your question, there wouldn't be any non-regulated material brought to that site. We do a lot of town municipal work, and anything that's regulated has to be brought to a different area. We don't bring anything back that isn't clean sand. And as the other person spoke about, it's crushed stone that comes from off island. And basically parking trucks and occasionally equipment that we can't leave on the side of the road on the job sites that we're working. As you're all aware, we're doing Lover's Lane reconstruction. And all that material for that job is out at the wastewater treatment plant. And then any of the regulated material that was involved in that job went out to the airport. So we have tight regulations involved with all our contracts, and 90% of our work is municipal work for the town. And in regards to hours of operations, we get there at 7 o'clock in the morning, which is, I believe, allowed, and we're gone by 5 o'clock in the evening. I mean, in a emergency situation where we had a broken water main or something like that, there could be a very, very occasional situation where trucks were put away after hours. But we've been there for, I mean, in one way or another, we've been there for the last 7 years with the construction of the meadows and everything. And I don't believe that we've had any complaints. And I don't think we've had any complaints to date for the 10 months that we've been currently occupying that piece.
All right, great. Thank you, Chris. Do we have anyone in the public? Oh, my eye in the sky has gone.
No, we do not.
We don't. Okay. Are we good, board members? Questions, concerns?
I have a question. I liked what Joe was saying. I think this gentleman knows what he's going to be storing on this site.
Yes.
I think that we might want to dictate that that's what this is going to be.
Yeah.
Not, and then have them have to come to us if it changes over time.
I think that's a very good call. Yeah. So basically, as he stated, the unregulated materials.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. I think is to add that into the decision that any change beyond unregulated materials would have to come before the board.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a very good call. As for the cement pad, I mean, I still think that's a good idea. I drive by often a lot of things we've approved in this area and see multiple trucks and machines parked on a lot just, and I'm not saying that Chris's stuff will do that, but it makes me concerned. So I'm not sure if there's a way to deal with that other than what Joe's suggesting.
Well, I just see that from my experience is that more contractors in this trade are extremely diligent about making sure fluids are topped off and greases and the right joints and et cetera. So I just feel if this gave an area to be able to, check these, I also think the vehicles and where we're at, we're hearing about PFAS left, right, and center. So I'm not saying he's the guy, but if we can kind of eliminate one site, I think would be extremely helpful. I do know it's more of an expense to Mr. Cooney. So, sorry if I got his name wrong. But I do think that would be wise for us to do. Other than that, I understand his business. I've not heard a complaint about his business. So I just think that we just want to quantify and just memorialize what we've been talking about, just to make sure it does not change. That's my attitude.
And for nothing, I appreciate the green space and the trees.
I do as well.
You have two hands up or three hands up now. Don Bracken had his hand raised, Chris Cooney has his hand raised, and Dylan Ample and the public has his hand raised.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Dylan just so that the other two with their hands up can address any questions or concerns if he has any. Dylan? You falling away? Is he still there?
Dylan, you are unmuted.
Okay, thank you. It sounds like you guys are coming to a good decision. I just wanted to add a little extra context or information. The Affordable Housing Trust is partnering with Habitat Humanity to purchase 20 Nancy Ann Lane for the development of, I believe, 4 affordable housing units, home ownership units. So I just wanted to add that context to the conversation.
Yeah, I think you're on a different application than we're on.
No,
Dylan.
yeah.
No.
Or maybe he's talking about the impacts.
Or
and
you're just,
the
are you
across
talking about
street.
the impacts,
Yeah.
Dylan, or?
Yes, just as a pseudo abutter.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris?
Hello?
Yep, we can hear you.
So I don't object. I would prefer we would maybe lean towards asphalt. And Dawn, maybe we would have to relocate that catch basin because the area where we're dumping the crushed stone or stockpiling sand, we don't necessarily want to put down concrete or asphalt. So if we had a designated area for the parking of the trucks and or equipment, I don't object to that, but maybe we'd have to kind of redraw that a little bit to just so it was clear.
Yeah, and to be clear, we're not asking for that underneath any of your stored materials. We're asking for that under your parking only.
Correct, but the catch basin is currently, the new catch basin would be next to the water quality structure, which is in the gravel area. So if for some reason there was a spill, which is what I'm hearing is the concerns, or leakage, it would still travel over the pavement and then go onto the gravel and continue to the catch basin. I don't want to pave all the way to the catch basin, so I think I'd have to look at changing that, reconfiguring that a little bit, so we would only be paving the front portion of the lot.
Yeah, so through you, Mr. Chair. So the catch basin that are required within commercial garages, it's a self-contained unit that keeps the oil and any debris within that. So it wouldn't have to be, it's not filtered. It would just fall into this basin that you would have to check, clean out. Am I wrong, Steve? That's basically the code.
Oil and water.
Oil and water, you know, it's not, doesn't have to go through a filtration system and all this other stuff. So it literally is one catch basin. And I was thinking, you know, everything pitches down towards that area, but it could be independent of that drainage system that you have there.
Okay.
And it's
Yeah,
we could talk to the building inspector or the building inspector or commissioner.
Yeah, I understand the whole process. It
Okay.
just, if in fact the concern is a spill, it would hit the pavement and it would travel across the pavement, then it would hit the gravel surface and then it would travel to the catch basin. So it defeats the purpose of putting anything down that's impervious. So that's why I would say that I would want to revisit the plan and relocate the catch basin into the asphalt area, and then kind of redraw that a little bit.
Okay. But yeah, I'm fine either way.
Dawn, you want to add some color to that?
Yeah, if I could,
Please.
sorry, my camera isn't working, but I think it's a little more complicated than what we're talking about. You know, my first concern is a lot of these projects that we've been doing in the zone two have, you know, most of the time we try to use gravel as much as we can, just, you know, for aesthetics and other reasons. And usually in that case, it's a compacted gravel and you'll generate the runoff to go to the catch basin like we have located in this situation. I'm just a little concerned about other projects going forward for all parking areas, if that's going to be a typical ask going forward. But I think as it's designed, it does meet the Stormwater Management Act. We did design the system as if it were all paved or could be paved someday in the future. It would be very difficult to isolate those parking spaces and put them in their own system. One of the reasons why we're relocating the catch basin that's already on site to the location shown in this plan is because, you know, Chris is considering a phase 2 down the road that would be, you know, more defined and most likely paved parking in a building toward the front. And then we would still utilize that catch basin in the back. Of course, anything can be done at a cost, but I just, you know, would really want to clarify, you know, what's going to be requested in these type of situations, even moving forward and what the final benefit's gonna be and how much you're actually gonna capture, you know, within that confined area where just the parking spaces are.
My opinion, if it's in the wellhead, I'd like to make this a standard.
I
So
agree.
that's,
Is this a movement of a catch basin or a need for an additional catch basin?
It sounds like it's gonna have to change the pitching of the lot.
it's existing leach pit being relocated and existing catch basin to be relocated. So right now, we don't plan them.
Yeah, because I,
So, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's the existing and that's the.
yeah, so, but by moving that, I mean, that's the right place for that one.
Right.
They just need another one
Yeah,
here.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, not moving it, but add.
Yeah, just add on
That's
one
my
more.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we would have to add a catch basin and where the parking spaces are shown and then run another pipe to that little grid separator. If we were just gonna pave where the parking spaces are.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in favor of it and I think we've been remiss in doing it earlier, to be honest. So, yeah. Board members, we good?
Public?
Anybody in the public before we close the public hearing?
No more hands are up
No,
online.
okay, so I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to close public.
Can I just ask a couple
Okay.
questions?
Let's vote on the.
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
So, motion made by Joe, seconded by Nat. This is to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're an aye, correct? Okay, that was unanimous.
So I appreciate all the discussion about protecting the wellhead. I completely support those ideas. I'm trying to think about how does this storage use of these materials live happily in this area that is gentrifying into kind of more of an affordable housing area. And we really want it to, we want to have dignity for the people who are living in these more affordable areas. Can we have screening? I just think we have to give this a little bit more of attention to the livability and how well it plays with its neighbors, because we are encouraging this. We want this to become a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think, Hillary, you have to remember the uses that
Were there
exist
for-
in this neighborhood and have
Yeah.
existed for a while, like Cape
Right.
Cod Express.
No, I know.
Huge, big trucks. There's storage
And-
facility next to them.
Right, but it is
so-
changing. And we've got Dylan pointing out that we have another application where we're gonna have houses, there are houses right across the street. So
No, I agree.
things like screening, I don't know, what do you think?
No, but I do think that I 100% hear what you say. And you notice I said, I appreciate
Mhm.
what they've done with the green grass and some trees. I think this stretch also has FedEx and has a number of serious commercial uses. And for me, I look at this and say, this is a huge improvement over what was there. I mean, if we can all recall what
Yeah,
was
it-
there
it's-
not that long ago, and is it perfect? No, but is it a giant leap forward in aesthetic? Which is hard to believe I'm saying that about a stockyard, but that's the reality. I mean, what was there before was horrific, and I think that slowly but surely we're improving that.
Is it going to have, what is it going to look like when I see that it has these containment areas for
In the back, yeah.
but if you're living across the street from it, what are you going to see? And I guess that's a question. for
Green
the
grass and
applicant.
trees, I think.
You know what, Hillary, I think you should make a specific recommendation of what you think might be appropriate there.
I think that's a good call. Like, if you want to see more screening, let's
I'm
have at it.
asking what kind of screening is going to be there.
Okay.
Just so I know what's planned.
Okay, Dawn or Chris, can you guys, let us know what your planning for screening is?
Yeah, if you can still hear me, but
Yes.
on the plan, we're proposing, 2 street trees. As you know, there's nothing in that place right now. And just, grass, in that frontage area. So I guess I would leave that up to Chris, what he thinks and, what screening that he would be, accepting to put in there.
Okay.
Well, I have, I guess, I don't have any objections to some more landscaping, whether we put a hedge across the front or even, Don, even a small berm and put, and I mean by small berm, maybe like a 4-foot high berm, and then put some evergreens on top of the berm. So when you're driving down the road, you'd be looking at maybe a 5 or 10-foot grass area, and then a small berm with the shrubs on it with some bark mulch. And then we would probably do some kind of, split rail gate fence in the front for now. I would note that this is round one. If we continue to go forward, there'll be a second round. We just couldn't get it together quick enough. So that kind of answers the screening question. I mean, the area is still heavy commercial. There's the fish company, there's FedEx. I don't even know what's in the old Frito-Lay building anymore, but there's certainly some kind of commercial activity going on there. Obviously, as you mentioned earlier, there's a landscape company that's just moved in, putting up a storage building as well. I have no idea what's going to go on to the left of me, which I would think would be the west. I mean, everybody knows what that is. I'm assuming that the housing is going on the back corner across from the new self-storage. Is that where that applicant's going?
I believe so.
It's at the corner of Nancy Ann and Dab Kim.
Okay, so that's going on that corner there, which is also next to a contractor's yard as well. And then as you go down that road, Nancy Ann, you've got Kobo Electric, you've got several mechanical shops, with, and granted, there are apartments above a lot of these places as well. And as people have mentioned, it's an extreme improvement from 10 years ago, and stuff. The other part of this is that I believe that we have 60 days to complete this work from the approved application. Is that correct?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I don't even think there is a time frame, is there?
Do we thank you for those comments. I appreciate them. The shipping containers in the trailer, are we permitting those under this MCD? Yes.
And Chris, I'm sorry, are you done?
I think so regarding the screening, I do think I appreciate that all along that side of Nancy Ann Lane, there are comparable or worse uses of land, but all of the people who live in apartments on the other side are looking into those areas, and we'd like to improve things for them, slowly, bit by bit, in little ways as we can. So appreciate the trees, the grass, and I would just suggest that I'm fine with staff approving some kind of a plan for screening that you think will be friendly to the applicant as well as respectful of the neighbors and move things in the right direction that we want to see this area going.
I agree. I think a small berm would go a long way in helping the look, concern about blowing dust
Yeah.
into the neighboring residential areas, and it would attenuate a little bit of the noise. I think as you face the property to the left, I don't know why he would screen there unless he didn't want to see the junkyard. I think behind him is contractor shops. And to the right of him as you face the lot, we're not sure what that is. That could be his phase two. I don't know. But I think that we start with the screening in the front and as
And along the side,
and
right?
along
Nancy Ann. I mean,
that's what I
along-
mean by the front.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and the side on one side, I'm not sure I would until things change his face.
Yeah, right.
We can,
Screening along Nancy Ann is what I'm most
yeah,
concerned about.
okay, great. And we can, and you're fine with staff approval on that.
I am, and I'll say, you know, even a fence, I mean, a fence makes a big difference. And sometimes a fence is better than vegetation that deer eat, and, you know, we don't need this to look like a golf course.
No, but it definitely can look nice.
Yeah,
with
I mean,
a little bit of work, so. That's it. We'll
Can I
have
just-
staff approve and yes,
This.
Matt.
Oh, what this looked like 11 years ago, it's 11 now, so you know, is, I mean, Joe and I used to go to birthday parties over there.
Joe is a
and
lot
acro-
younger
and
than you.
No,
I-
he's not. No, he's
I used to
not.
work in there when I was
You worked
14.
there.
I worked
Yeah.
there when I was
I was
14.
in Sconset,
Holy.
cutting hedge, and he was over there. And we used to ride mini bikes at the parties at Gnaw Shop, way before it was Gnaw Shop. We've slowly moved everything out of the real residential Nantucket and kind of ended up out here where it used to be, but much less. And of course, towards the Coffin Pit and the airport bunker area has been sort of the natural movement of what used to be. Reese's, Toscano's on Pilgrim Road. People don't even know that. So it's like, I get what Hillary's saying. She's not wrong about saying like the people that are living there, they have to look at this. I just don't know what the answer is. When you go to Boston and stay in a hotel and you look out the window and there's 3 big gigantic cranes building a building 10 feet from your window. I mean, that's like what, and those people are paying $250 a night or whatever to stay looking out that. I don't know what the answer is, but I think though, having special permits, having these kind of businesses are going to come and go. This isn't like building a building. You know what I mean? Like something could change here 5 years from now, and this could end up being a shop or something else. You know what I mean? And I think we got it right with the zoning to make it mixed use, but has has the ability to shift. So, making the berm and the trees without them blowing over. I'd rather see that than gigantic green fencing or something that's just terrible.
No, I agree.
To be permanent, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, I
I
agree.
just don't, we didn't know how we were gonna handle what was gonna come. We knew this stuff was gonna happen. People have to have a place to their stuff to go. There's no place to go. So I'm good with this. I think that having the ability and looking at this as mini Coffin Pit with dwellings, with housing around it, that's what this is. This is Coffin Pit, way bigger, with mixed use that Coffin Pit doesn't have as far as the residential side. They have it in a little bit, but not like this area is gonna. So,
Okay, so
anyway,
I would accept a motion that addresses Joe's concerns, addresses Hillary's concerns about the screening. I think it
Yeah.
was either Chris or Don that talked about a berm.
Yeah.
And some plantings, which I think sounded great.
and I think when we do that approval stuff for the berm stuff, it has to be at their kind of what worked for that.
Staff is gonna.
You know what I mean?
That's what I
Yeah,
propose.
Because
Yeah.
because sometimes, I mean, the wind, if this is an open area, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, that's
Okay.
all.
Right.
So
Okay.
is there, is
Motion.
there anything I missed there?
Oh,
added
we
to this
need-
motion? No? Yes, and
Yeah.
that nothing but unregulated material will be stored there. So
Correct.
the three
Yep.
things we wanted to add in.
Okay.
So that would be 6, 7, and 8.
Okay, but Hillary's.
I'm
gonna make a
sorry.
motion.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna make a motion to approve the MCD with the finding that the proposal is in harmony with the purpose of the bylaw. And the conditions here with 1 through 5, with the additional condition of the new catch basin and concrete pad.
Well, we're all right with asphalt, correct? Or no?
I haven't really thought about it.
The proponent said he would
I
prefer
don't
asphalt.
have a one way or the other.
Okay, new catch basin and asphalt pad
Parking area.
in the parking area. No regulated materials being stored and a screening plan along Nancy Ann Lane for the benefit of the residences
Mhm.
to be worked out with staff, either berm, vegetation, or, you know, a fence that's attractive and not just green fabric.
Yeah.
Great, do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, motion made by Hillary, seconded by Nat, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Right, that's unanimous.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we are on to, Habitat for Humanity, 20 Nancy Ann Lane, Dan Malloy. And, Stephen, I think you're gonna be pegged on this one.
Good evening, Dan Malloy again. So before you this evening for this one, 20 Nancy Ann Lane. Habitat for Humanity, I think as you heard a few minutes ago, is under contract to buy the property as well as under an agreement with the Nantucket Affordable Housing Trust to acquire the property. Put some restrictions on this in terms of affordability. So what the application is requesting is a special permit. In the CN district, apartments are allowed. They're allowed by right, but require a special permit from the planning board. There is no relief requested as part of this application. It's strictly a planning board review for the special permit process. The proposal is 4 buildings, 2 bedrooms per unit for a total of 8 bedrooms. We're providing 8 parking spaces as required on the site. The site has enough area to comply in the zoning for the 4 units. You might even be able to get 1 more, but we're only asking for 4. Access to the site is provided by Nancy Ann as well as the existing driveway complex as part of the Richmond development. The driveway to the site and most, if not all, of the infrastructure to support it is already in place. The roads are in place, the utility stubs are already in place. Essentially, it's a vacant building lot pad ready to go. So that's the application. It's 4 separate dwellings, 2 bedrooms apiece. It is Habitat for Humanity, so obviously it is going to come with some restrictions in terms of affordability. With that, I'd answer any questions.
Thank you. Board members, questions? It's pretty straightforward.
And we wanted.
Is there anyone up in the public that wants to speak to this?
No hands are up online.
All right, got incoming. Welcome.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for letting me speak, everyone. So,
Name, even though we know
oh,
you.
sorry, Campbell Sutton. I forgot who I was. My apologies. Okay, so I know it's probably not appropriate to speak sort of against the design on this, but I'm gonna jump in the water anyway. The look of this reminds me, and I don't know the name of the road, but the one that was approved with the 5 or 6 buildings
Rupert's
up
Way.
Rupert's Way.
on Old South Road.
Rupert's Way.
Yes, that spot. As you know, over time, I've spoken about stacked parking, and I personally don't think that it lends itself to friendly neighbors, and usually ends up with cars trying to find someplace else to park because they don't want to park the other person in, or they have to leave early. And So there's a lot working on that. And the thing that came to mind on that Rupert's Way to me is something more along the line of townhouses, something where you might take the structures, maybe even reduce, like we have done before, reduce the side yard setback to 0 on each one? Or is this all one lot? This is all one lot, right? These aren't 4 separate lots.
They're all one
So
lot.
I guess in my way, I'm sort of thinking that you could bring the two apart, like the right and left closer to the center, right? And get some angled parking on the ends where people could be more independent in their parking. Yes, Megan? You were
Oh,
going to say
Oh,
something?
no, I just want to respond with some follow-up comments when you're done.
Oh,
Is that-
okay. So that was just sort of what I look at when, I understand that it's going to have financial restrictions, et cetera, but I still think that it should create a livable apartment building with a yard and some green space and not just parking lots. I'm assuming that back stretch is the driveway, right? Not from Nancy Ann Lane. So this all faces onto it. Okay, sorry, I'm rambling. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Meg.
I just wanted to maybe point out to the board and to the public that stacked parking, tandem parking for residential uses is allowed in our bylaw. The parking here conforms to the requirements outlined in the bylaw, so the board does not have the authority to require additional. Furthermore, in this zoning district, if there were to be a commercial use added to this site, the 4 units would be permitted by right. So the only reason why they're before this board today is because in the use chart, apartment buildings, residential only, in CN requires a special permit. If Habitat for Humanity wanted to say relocate their offices here, there would be no special permit review because there would be a commercial operation on the site. Okay.
What I thought thank you for all of that, which is all true. The other thing that gives me some relief, Campbell, is that these are basically houses. So these people are living as a household unit in the 2 bedrooms. So it's not like people in an apartment building where there's 2 dwelling units and they have to share a tandem parking spot. This is like, a husband and a wife or 2 roommates sharing.
You have to come to the mic.
Well, anyway, I was not, I hear you, but I feel like there's lots of places where people have to park in tandem in their house on a.
No, right. And I'm just speaking because I know that this is all approvable, right? You shouldn't question it. But there are a number of places where stacked parking is utilized and there's a lot of parking on the side of streets and things like that. So just because there's 2 bedrooms does not mean there's just 2 cars. And I get that they'll be restricted or however you're going to work it. We're just not seeing that, are we? We're not seeing that 1 bedroom means 1 person and 1 car. But so I just don't want you to think that I don't think that this is approvable. I do. I'm just, you've got a parking lot, a house, a parking lot, a house, a parking lot, a house, a parking lot, a house. That's, and I was just trying to maybe get a little more green space in there, maybe create different parking, but I do understand it's a go. And I see what you're saying. If it's just, it's 2 bedrooms. So are they 1 bedroom apartments? Is that the idea?
It's like a house. Imagine
it's
that
a
there are
house.
4 houses.
It's an apartment building. So it's like
an
a
apartment
duplex.
building with 1 dwelling unit.
1 dwelling unit in it.
So under our bylaw, Campbell,
Oh, that's the
Um,
new definition.
it's just, you
Yeah.
have to call it an
Okay.
apartment building.
yep.
So they're gonna function as single-family homes, two-bedroom, single-family homes, but they're called apartment buildings.
That's exactly what I needed. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that, listen, this board has voiced its disdain for stacked parking on numerous occasions, on numerous applications. I think the most recent was on Old South Road at Espresso to Go, where they had a crazy amount of stacked parking. I think on this application, if it's not stacked, we're going to lose more green space. And I think, to your point, you want it to be livable. I think Hillary says it often, and I think the whole board agrees that we want to make it as livable as possible with some green space and with parking. And I think that it would be difficult to achieve that in a better way if we got rid of the stacked parking. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, Dan.
So on that point, not to be contrarian, I would prefer, if I'm gonna be the alternate, I would like to support and vote on giving them the option to lay this out stacked. And the rationale is that if they put some privet along the back side of these, they will actually have a side yard that each yard will be able to use as you're facing the plan to the left of the house, as opposed to having this space where you really don't have space other than next to your neighbor's house with a parking space next to it. So the idea would be that they have an option to use the tandem and create a 20 by 20 or 30 by 30 yard space, which is functional. They can put a small shed. You got a place for your scallop rake. Kid can kick a ball, not very far, but they can kick the ball. I'm not suggesting that we would mandate it, but I think it would be beneficial to that option. Through Mr. Chairman, I ask a question to Dan.
Of course.
Dan, these are gonna be I'm curious, these are gonna be one-story units or two-story?
These are two-story units.
Okay. For me, then, and we can pick up street trees at a different regulatory agency. But I think that kind of, for me, even makes it more important that you guys have an opportunity to do tandem. Because there's a little bit more room for landscaping, some vertical elements in landscaping that can mitigate the height of the structures and help them to blend in and give people a sense that they're living in a home and not stacked up next to one another too much. So just some thoughts for your consideration.
Liza.
Hi, I'm Liza Haddon. I think that the parking could work either way. I think that if there's enough room between the buildings, then it would be great to do them side by side, but I'm not sure there is. I think that one thing that you've discussed on previous apartment buildings is about storage outside or storage underneath the buildings, and I'm not sure how much jurisdiction you have about that. But I know that one of the things about having a small apartment is that there isn't a place to put your scallop rake or any of your other beach stuff. So having something either underneath the building or being able to build something on the side of the building so that you can put your stuff in there and it's not just in the yard would be great.
Great, thank you, Liza. These do have basements,
Yeah,
correct?
all the buildings have basement
Yeah.
spaces with
And
walk-downs, so
these are
there is
basically
storage.
single-family homes, but by
They're single-family
definition-
homes.
Yeah.
By definition, they're apartment buildings, but they're single-family apartments, essentially.
So basement for storage and then 2 floors above that for.
Correct,
dwelling.
basement storage 2 floors above, so we had looked at other options for laying this out and between trying to provide parking, separation, code requirements between buildings. Trying to squeeze everything and double up the parking just didn't fit. But we obviously want to have as much green space as possible here as well.
Yep.
I mean, it's really close. It's a sad, like, just a little bit here or there that we couldn't get that. Cause I agree with Steve. If we could get the tandem, then you have more yard space, but maybe there's something.
For reference, if anybody's seen it, believe these buildings are going to be similar to what's they put up on Waite Drive.
Yep.
For a visual, that's the intention.
Or every other one, perhaps.
Right.
Tandem.
Yeah, so,
Mr. Chair,
can-
we have Christy Parentella with her hand up.
Okay.
online.
I'll get right there. Can we give them the option in the condition?
I think about the parking?
Yes.
Yeah, you can give them maybe the flexibility of that sort of site plan change with
Through-
staff
through
approval.
Staff.
That's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, great.
Yeah, if they finesse a
Yeah.
plan a little bit more
Yeah.
and then massage it and it comes out, that's, I think, a win.
Yep. I
Something to look
agree.
at,
I
investigate.
agree. Christie?
Hi, thank you. Christy Ferrantella, the housing director. I just wanted to comment on some of the previous comments around parking. And these, as have been mentioned, are acting as single-family homes. They're going to be 2 bedrooms sold to a family that earn between 50% and 80% of area and median income. So I think the stacked parking makes sense that it's going to be basically one person per bedroom, and it's regulated through the state's Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities. So it wouldn't be separate people being able to share the units. So I just wanted to give that information as background. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Anybody else in the public? Steven, do you want to comment, or are you just stretching your legs? All righty. No one online?
No.
Nice
no more-
hummingbird,
no more
by the way.
hand raised. I'm stopping sharing them. It's really good.
I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing now.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Right, motion made by Joe, seconded by Hillary, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can I get an aye out of you, Stephen?
Aye.
Thank you. That's unanimous. Alrighty.
I just want to thank Christy for letting us know about the affordability. That was one of my questions because it wasn't in that application, but I don't,
And I think they go on the shy list too.
yeah.
They go on the shy list now, right? Yep. That's a bonus.
So I'm fine with this.
Great. Stephen, you wanna form your motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion that we approve subject to findings and conditions of staff and a modification to include at the applicant's option, tandem parking versus stacked, and any configurations that will work, subject to staff review, noting that they may also use the 17-foot length parking space if available for them.
Second.
For each unit.
All right, motion made by Stephen, seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Okay, we're gonna move on to Rock Island Realty Trust at 123 Orange Street. Howard, I'm gonna tag you on this one. And this is, who's representing this? Dan Malloy. It's the Dan
Hello
Malloy
again.
show.
Dan Malloy, it's going to be the evening of apartments tonight. So 123 Orange Street, we have a property that's zoned CMI. It's about 6,200 square feet. In this district, there's a few different housing options available. So they can have a duplex by right. And you can also have apartments and or apartment buildings based on square footage. So in this case, the applicant, the plan before you shows a duplex on the top of the plan, which is just allowed by right. And then we also have a second building, which is going to be an apartment, a 2-unit apartment building. So you'd have a duplex at the top, so 2 units above, with 2 bedrooms apiece, so 4 bedrooms in one building. Then a 2-unit apartment building with 4 more bedrooms for a total of 8 bedrooms. The uses and everything are by right, very similar to what you just saw in the previous application. In this case, we've got 7 parking spaces provided, which is what's required by the zoning code to do with the duplex as well as the apartments. And we have access provided by a way called Bear Way. This is, for reference, was off of Orange Street, but it's parallel to Bear Street.
Yep.
So there's a little confusion there as to
Yep.
where this actually is. And the lot in front of it is vacant. And I believe there was a house there possibly years ago that was taken down.
Not that long.
That far.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you drive by and look at it, you can drive up Bear Way right now. The front lot, I believe, is a trailer out there and a few cars parked. The back lot we're talking about right now is vacant. So again, there's no relief requested. The apartment and the duplex are allowed by right. However, the apartment, because there's no commercial component to it, requires a special permit with the planning board review. Parking and everything else is zoning and site compliant. That's it.
Thank you.
So, can you just explain the access a little bit more? Has anyone else been by to look at this?
I've seen it a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the way is gonna need some improvement.
Well, it's
for
just
sure.
gravel poured on top of the grass right now.
Yeah.
And then there's, and then it's a little confusing, the back of the property that's, map 55 parcel 392 at the back there, Connie Umberger's former property.
Yeah, that's right.
It has, there's something going on with I don't know, the property line was a little unclear to me, because
So
of,
the back, if you're looking at that plan, the left property line, if that's what you're talking about.
You're looking up Bearway.
All right, so there's a solid board fence along the left
Right.
side of that plan and the top side of the plan. So the left and top right now have privacy fences that I believe a butters put in.
the fence actually has like a jog in it, and there's some utility or something. I guess I'd just like to have some discussion among the board about the access, a 10-foot road, getting back there to all those parking. I mean, I support the idea of small units going into this area. It's just in this location, getting emergency vehicles in there when there's a lot of cars and it's only a 10-foot wide. It's not really a road.
Fire department's gonna look at this, correct?
Better than a curb cut on Orange Street. That's how I'm looking at this.
Well, it is a curb cut on Orange Street.
Well, but there'll be access from this. I mean, the Bear Way, yes, I understand that
And
that's a
that's
curb
basically
cut,
like a
but
driveway.
I'm saying that's been like a kind of a common unknown, no one really knows what, like, nobody talks about the name of this.
Right, well,
It's
Connie, you
sort of
could just
there.
pull up there and go through her fence.
Connie's,
Had
you
a-
could go on Bear Street to her house.
Right, but she would go up the back and open up that gate and she would park back that way.
Yeah.
So for reference, we have an easement along the side of Bear Way, so to the extent that we can make it wider to 12 feet, we certainly can do that. We have an easement right now on the side to utilize for access so that we can get back there, because these are likely going to
Oh,
be
I
waterways
see,
as
yeah.
well. So we've already secured the access to get to the back of the property so the buildings can actually be delivered.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, so the front, so until you hit your lot line, reality there's could be 20 feet.
There could be 20
Of
feet.
space
There's the
there.
10-foot way, then there's another 10-foot easement after that. So we can certainly
Yeah.
build a driveway to
Yeah,
access
because
the site.
my concern is, I mean, and I know this isn't a lot, but it's 8 bedrooms, right? So there could be a fair amount of people back there. I would be scared to approve something not being sure that as Hillary pointed out, that the fire apparatus can get close.
So if something like this would normally see a 12-foot gravel driveway is what you normally see.
Yeah.
That would be typical. And that would give everybody access in and certainly give the fire department access to at least to pull in. They're not turning around, obviously, but they can pull
Yeah.
in to access and get closer to the buildings.
Okay.
So where it says Bear Way, is when you go to the property and you see the gravel, is that what is Bear Way? And then the easement, that 10 feet is adjacent and is currently grass, uncovered with gravel.
That's right.
Right, so I think you should definitely make that wider.
This
Yeah.
is one of these places that's just sort of been that way. There wasn't really any.
It's a small gravel driveway that services properties on the
Good.
left and you come in right now.
It used to just be grass.
Did Ara have her own curb cut in the front of
She-
the lot?
No.
No,
but
she
it
came in
that
Bear
way.
Way too,
There
yeah.
was a significant sized house there and you just kind of backed in and parked. It was just, it's not formal.
It's just really different having these, 2 4-bedroom apartments.
I don't have a problem with the apartments as long as there can be proper access to them.
That's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
like, it's not comparable to the way it was used before. The access that was there before was serving a very different use.
Yes, and I think if they can expand it to 12 and keep the easement free of anything large, right? So that fire trucks can get in there, then I don't have an issue with it. But Bearway as it is, I don't think it is suitable as it is for the amount of access.
Is Bearway officially laid out as anything? I mean, is this one of these
It's-
ghost streets? Is this one of these?
It's an official way. I
mean,
didn't go
I'm just
back on the
not
title to
that
see if
street.
the planning board ever endorsed it years ago, but it is an
We
official
have
way.
some of them. Meter Street was like that till
Yeah.
recently.
There's a few streets that just appeared
Yeah.
on a plan somehow, somewhere.
Yeah. So I think the improvement of this and the curving and how you get in and out, making it wide enough so you're not like bumping over the curb. Because that sidewalk in front of that newer building on the right of Bear Street, you have Henry Junior building, and then you have that guy that does there's apartments above. I forgot the guy that does the auction, what is it, a therapy thing or something there, whatever it is. So that way behind that building is really in its existing condition for decades, the way it is right now. Whatever kind of improvement can happen to that needs to happen somehow, like legally. Like, that's why I'm asking this question. Is this something that can be done without a taking? Is it
So we have
official?
rights.
What is it?
We have rights in Bearway, so we can
Okay.
improve Bearway. That
Okay.
should not be a problem.
Okay. I'm just trying to, this is one of those funky things that no one knows anything about.
Do
you
other
know?
people have it?
So the abutters on
Leslie's got-
Bearway
is she
have
trying to get
have
on?
rights and they use it right now. So that would continue. We'll just improve the access.
Oops. Have we heard anything from the butters? I'm surprised we haven't.
I haven't, does Kevin live next door?
He's
Is that
right.
Leslie trying to
Yeah,
say something?
Leslie
Yeah,
still has.
Miss-
Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Mr. Chair. I've actually looked into the status of this way many times over the years. And it's a way that, as I recall, existed prior to the subdivision control law. There are other people who have rights to use it, who have expressed interest in using it in the past. And they certainly know how to reach me, and I haven't heard any opposition from them about this application. And, before it was all, I think, incorrectly assumed to be part of the charter property and her private driveway, but that was never the case. That's just the way it was used for some reason.
Thanks, Leslie.
That's-
And is there no need for a stormwater review of this property? I mean, I'm just concerned that it's so close to the harbor and we're adding so much non-permeable surface that
Like, as a
all that-
practical matter, I can tell you, on any project like this, or 99% of everything we're doing now, they're all getting roof drains. So
Okay,
just looking at the size of the property, 50% of this land is gonna be directed to a roof drain into the ground
okay,
right off the bat.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's-
Yes,
So there are 7 parking spots, but 8 units, even though I think it's compliant with the zoning. And that's a little bit troublesome in this fairly tightly packed area. And we're concerned here about whether people can really use those parking spaces and get in and out of them. So that's a question.
So all of the spaces shown here are 9 by 20. We don't have any reduced parking. We're not doing anything stacked, so you have a 9 by 20 space. We have the required 12-foot aisle behind it. In addition to that, the parking space at the top of the page, if you can see, is pushed further up into the corner. Reason being for that is there's more room to access and maneuver. So we've thought about access and maneuverability to the extent to make sure it does work. So we're sticking, in this site, we're not using the tandem, we're not trying to do any other shorter, compact spaces. Everything is 9x20.
How does that car in spot number 7 get out?
They'll have to back out.
They have to go backwards all the way.
Yeah.
And they can either back out or they can back in.
They have to back all the way out to Orange Street.
No, they could
No.
turn around and
Turn
bear,
around, bear.
They can
back into
bear.
bear and
Right.
turn down or back into an empty parking
Yeah, we're
spot.
not gonna be backing out
And-
into Orange. That's the good part.
Back where, but no, really, where do they turn around?
They're gonna,
Seriously.
so.
They're not.
They're gonna
Yes,
back,
they are.
they're gonna back in the parking lot into Bear Street, and then they're gonna go down Bear Street to Orange.
Because that
Bear
isn't a
Way.
parking lot. Below one isn't a parking space. That's just Bear Street. So they could park back into that and
Yeah.
back out or use any of the empty parking
Right,
spaces.
But there might not be any.
No, but,
There are.
but you're gonna be able to back, if you have to back out, you're gonna be able to back out that way and can drive straight out.
Right,
Yeah.
Anyway.
but you have to back out
It-
80 feet.
If every single space is taken and the person in number 7 wasn't smart enough to back into the space, then yes, that's what's gonna happen. And I see a lot worse than that.
Dan, is there-
He does it every day.
Dan, is there enough room for pickup trucks to get in and out of those spaces?
Oh, there is,
All the
yeah, I
backup
mean,
there.
9x20 space, typical,
Like
a car,
backup.
pickup trucks, well, a typical car today is 7x17.
Yeah.
Pickup trucks pushing 1820.
And I can't read the dimension between the,
So the spaces are 9x20. Behind the space is a 12-foot aisle that you back out and pull forward through. So between the space and the vehicle itself, you have 32 feet. I mean, the space in the aisle, I should say.
I wonder if we could see a drawing that shows how this actually works, that somebody's gonna go into the space without having to do a 2 or 3 point turn.
Yeah. So this is what you're seeing. This is common for, I would say, the vast majority of residential
Yeah,
on Nantucket. The vast majority of parking on the island is, well, the 9x20 is required. And the driveway in a conventional setting residential like this is 12 feet.
it's just a lot of parking in a very condensed area with a lot of units and the likelihood of people having pretty big vehicles. Not to mention the 60-foot backing out in a pickup truck, potentially.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I just would like to see more specifics about how you're going to treat the access.
Picnic table.
Yeah, I think that this should come back with more specifics about that.
More specifics.
I don't know if anybody else agrees with me.
I mean, could I just speak,
Please,
Mr. Chair?
yeah.
I just, Stephen made a good point that other 6 parking spaces, I could see this in like a Stop and Shop parking lot. Someone's gonna be able to get out with a car passing by. I think it's gonna be tight. I'm not gonna lie, but I definitely think it's doable. You know, you could have a car that's, my wife's Bronco is 15 feet long. My truck is 17, 18 feet long. So I definitely think you have space to swing a vehicle. It's not gonna be easy, but I think over time you'd practice, you'd get it to work. So it's a lot in a little site, but welcome to the core of downtown. This is, kind of a tough spot to really be able to do some of the stuff, but
Make sure that privacy fence is strong.
yeah,
But Joe,
This
you
is
feel pretty
CMI?
good that you could,
This is CMI here? I thought this
Joe?
was.
yeah.
you feel
Alright.
that it's reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I have a client that backs down his driveway 100 feet every morning,
Yeah, I just.
in and out, and is back and forth
I
3
just
times a day.
think we should come back with this actually drawn out. I mean, Bear Way, have you guys seen?
Well, I'm not
seen
sure,
this?
Hillary, what more could you draw?
I want to confirm how wide the access is going to be.
I think that.
Well, as it's drawn right now, it's 12 feet.
You mean the access off of Bear into the
No,
property?
the there is
So-
the access.
Oh, never mind, sorry.
So the physical driveway right now is drawn as 12 feet. You'll see Bear Way itself. Right above Bear Way is a solid line, and that curved line is the actual driveway. So we're already proposing it to go beyond the physical Bear Way
So
itself.
that's not the like it.
Yeah, I just don't know what kind of, I mean, other than a video showing someone backing out in these dimensions, I'm not sure what
Well,
a picture's gonna.
there's nothing there. You can't even do a video because it's just,
Yeah.
it's just very small.
This is a parking spot and Stop and Shop. Yeah.
It's a 9 by 20. It's the same
Yeah,
spot,
standard
same
code.
space everywhere else on the
Mhm.
island, 12 feet. It's,
So what,
everything we're proposing is standard. We're not,
So-
there's no special relief with this.
so can I just,
Being asked.
can I just,
Go ahead.
to speak to what Joe said a minute ago? Okay, so there's not like traffic on Bear Way, okay? There's like zero traffic on Bear Way. So what's gonna happen here is the people that live here are gonna learn, hey, I can back in from Bear Way to get in, right? There's not gonna be like a traffic jam. If everybody learns to park, this will actually work because they're all gonna be able to drive out, one way or the other. They're either gonna back out because there's not gonna be traffic coming where they're gonna have to look and say, oh my God, there's cars coming. I can't back out, like the people that back out on the Fairgrounds Road every day. That drives me crazy when I see that. And so it will function because Bear Way is really a driveway. I mean, it's not a road that's traveled. I know that it looks like with, maximizing and all that, but I've already looked, I didn't even bring it up, angle parking. I mean, I don't think that's the solution here either. Because now everybody has to back out. So it's sort of I'm not really sure what the best answer is. If you angled it, you'd have to back into your parking spaces to drive out. Everybody would have to back out, or everybody have to back out one way or the other. They're not gonna be able to turn around. So if there's enough space at the beginning of those spaces for a vehicle to back towards parking space number 7 and drive out, then we're covered.
And there's enough room. We've
Then that
laid it
will
out,
work.
provided, so it will work. I'm
Yeah,
not,
I mean, it
Yeah.
just looks smaller than it is, in my opinion, with the way it's drawn.
Now, if it was me, I would be driving by my parking space, whatever the number is, and
Backing up.
backing
Of course you
in.
would.
And then I'd drive
You
out.
do that in your own.
I do it in my own
every day.
house. Yeah.
You're backed in, you don't
Yeah.
back in, I see what you do.
and
No.
given,
So,
I mean,
This
given where
is,
this
this is gonna
located-
function.
Better.
I'm more worried about the emergency vehicles than I was.
That's my
That's
only
my
concern.
Well,
It is tight.
It's, I mean,
It says, so aisle width for lots containing one or, so I'm just, what is the recommended aisle width for an application like this? It says 15 feet for 45-degree
12, yeah.
parking and 12 feet for parallel parking. This is not parallel parking. Aisle width requirements shall not apply to residential use except for lots containing multifamily or duplex, right? A minimum aisle width for 12 feet for 90-degree parking. So it is compliant.
yeah,
I know you.
and
did-
very few vehicles
Thank
are gonna
you.
be 20.
Yeah, so this is the minimum,
Yeah,
absolute minimum.
To the inch.
yeah.
Yeah.
These mean all standards to the minimum.
It's like the steamship,
And
they put the bike
I
rack on the back.
Again, but since it's not labeled on the drawing, you're going to augment Bear Way. So Bear Way is right now a strip of grass with gravel that dumped on top of it. But on the map, it's
we're going to build a 12-foot gravel driveway.
there will be a 12-foot gravel driveway accessing this.
Yes.
And there will be an apron.
There has to be an apron out
Yeah,
to the
so
street.
it'll be
definitely.
gravel.
I haven't myself, no, but I believe the owner of this property has. The applicant, I have no idea, honestly. I've never met the owner. of
Separate
that.
owner.
Separate
different
owners, yes.
Did all of the abutters get letters sent to them? We send the letters, right?
Yeah.
So everybody got a letter.
Absolutely.
What else was I gonna- And the open space requirement is 20%, right?
For a non-commercial project residential, we have 20%, but in this case, I don't
I mean,
Oh,
for
for
a
strictly
permeable
residential of 20.
surface, permeable surface, like not covered with a driveway or are we
Oh,
good
we
with
have the
it?
20% here, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, asking for 0 waivers.
All right. Are we maxing out the ground cover on this lot? I don't even know what ground cover is on CMI. No, okay.
There's more ground cover available, but we can't,
No, and I
can't provide for
and
it.
the reason I'm asking is to get that answer you just said, because that means you're providing, you're not maximizing, you gotta have the parking work. So
The
you're
parking,
trying to fit it all in.
parking allowance drives what's usable on
Yeah,
the property. And
yeah.
in addition to that, these buildings will not have basements.
They won't?
They'll have crawl spaces. There's a groundwater.
Oh, okay.
issue,
never
so
mind.
We'll
Yep,
have crawl
yep.
spaces here as well. So there's not going to be any concern about expansion or anything else going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, got it.
David,
Meaning
what-
basement
we
living.
needed housing and that this is totally compliant. What do you think about this?
With,
We need housing.
well, listen, we need
He's
housing.
compliant with all the.
He's compliant with all the rules,
So
so
that-
there's not really we can't deny it, and we can't really hold his feet to the fire on anything because we have no purchase on him, right? So, I mean, it is tight, but it's all within code and to be honest, I don't see a way to deny it.
Nat, are you comfortable with the 12-foot?
Yeah, I
width?
mean, because what's gonna happen here, you're gonna see smaller vehicles for probably 80% of the spaces. That Joe was talking about, people, just so everyone knows, a Suburban is not 20 feet. It's like 19 feet, 10 inches long. No, it's true. I'm just telling you.
Steamship stuff.
I know all this because of that.
How big's the
Tahoe's 17.
Okay,
I'm just telling you. So and they all turn, the steering radius, the front axles are different now. I mean, these vehicles turn tight. So I'm assuming that there's gonna be a lot of smaller vehicles here mixed into that one, stupid truck that doesn't fit right, but it's not gonna be every single space. So I'm looking at it as it'll figure itself out over time and people will figure out the best way to do it. The best news about this project is that there is no traffic for the people you could put a requirement, never back out on Orange Street. I mean, literally, and nobody could say they can't do it.
It's against the law anyways.
Because
It
you
is.
have to be able to turn around
Well,
to get out,
also,
no matter what.
we don't have to be concerned about on-street parking
Yeah.
here either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the people that
This
live here
property's gonna
either have a
control
parking
itself.
spot or.
This is good. This is reminding me of those places that the hospital used to have or leased on Nobody Farm on the right. Every one of those little places in there after the parts store, you can get in and out of those internally pretty easy. Nobody backing out into Nobody Farm Road from those locations. So this will work. You just have to think about it differently than something we've looked at all the time.
My main concern actually was not the parking, because I agree that people who are gonna take these apartments are gonna know that that's what they get.
Yeah.
And be able to act accordingly. It's the access and, I was just a little surprised to know that you would be able to control development of that way, given that it's not exclusively for your use.
So
But
we
maybe
can't
that's not
control
an
it.
issue
No.
of the planning board.
I think she meant improve it.
We can
Control it, improve it.
Right,
Yeah.
but when you have rights in a way, you have the right to improve that
Yeah.
way. So we have those rights. It's very common on Nantucket for private ways like this, for one of the property owners or butters to improve the way.
The other crazy part is you have 50% ground cover and you're leaving 37% or 36% ground cover.
Oh, so
You're,
as a,
'cause you're limited because of the parking.
as a, something to what this could be. So this could be a mixed use commercial application that's in the CMI. It's also in the MyPod district, which if it pursued that avenue, would have the right under the zoning bylaw to claim all kinds of parking credits. And theoretically, this isn't what we're doing. We don't want to do, but theoretically, you could do more here under a different type of special permit and almost have it all by right.
May I make a motion to close this discussion?
You can make, no,
No,
yes, wait, yes,
Call-
if you're sitting, you
ask
can make a
one
motion to close the public hearing, but let's
Howard's
make
getting
sure there's
hungry.
not someone lined up. Anyone online? Anybody in the building?
So I'm making a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All right, motion made by Howard, seconded by Joe, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, as for the merits, definitely like to see an apron added into the conditions if it's not there.
Apron to
to
the
Orange Street.
interior, to Orange, cleaning up that apron.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
excuse me.
I don't think there is an apron
Right,
there.
I didn't mean to say it that way. So,
Um,
yes, but the curbing, making sure that the curbing is flush. There isn't any bump situation, and you gotta remember, there's a nice crosswalk there to the Goose Pond,
You got that all in the decision?
whatever
Mike?
the heck
What do you
they
think?
call that little thing there for the railroad bed, you know?
I think if we put that the applicant coordinate with
With
staff and
yeah,
DPW on
that-
the spec.
That's what I was
that
gonna
would
say,
be great.
DPW review what the right thing is to improve that
I,
spot.
I also
Great.
have a concern about the easement and how that's dealt with plantings. Again, this goes back to my concern about, well, not only sight lines, but also emergency vehicle access.
They'll get in there.
They'll
feet.
get in there no matter what, I'm sure, but so I would just like to see any plantings. Well, I guess it would be up to to lot 11. We can't really condition that, right? To the owner of that lot, to Ara. We can't condition her lot in this support, so.
Mr.
scrub
Chair,
that,
just-
so,
Leslie has her hand up.
Leslie,
I just wanted to add to the condition about the DPW and coordinating work with them as needed. There is a sidewalk on this side of Orange Street that could be impacted, so just, I think that should be referenced in the condition.
okay.
Well, yeah, well, that's what I meant, making sure that, I have to look at it tomorrow. I can't think of what it looks like in my head. Cause the sidewalk in front of that commercial
yeah.
building is fixed.
And it's
Yeah,
probably square.
so,
when it
so
needs to be
this
flat
is
or
easy to
so.
clean that up. It's already got the,
If that remains, then the sidelines okay.
Are those, is that still there?
Yeah, the privet.
The privet?
Yeah.
that's an old picture though.
Yeah, it's still got the house there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That's what I'm
privet and
saying.
everything up front is gone. It's open to
Yeah,
the
it's
street.
not there, I don't
Yeah.
think anymore.
Oh, all
The
of it?
privet's gone.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're right.
Can we also put in the conditions the width that we discussed of,
12 feet?
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, 12 works.
Okay. Anyone got anything else to add in? I would,
gravel
Mm.
is.
I would entertain a motion.
Howard-
Go ahead, kid.
Howard,
Take
there
one.
you go.
I'd like to entertain a motion to approve this with everything that Megan knows needs to be included.
Think you get better than that.
That was good, Tom. I like that.
All right.
Let's
Like
rubber stamp
the
that.
wizard over
That
here.
was, that was an on the fly.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, motion made by Howard, seconded by Nat. All in favor? Aye. That's unanimous, I believe.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, Dan. We are on to Mr. Arminetti, NHA Properties, DBA Housing Nantucket, 7375B Old South Road. Welcome, Dave.
What place is this?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. Figure after 78 straight applications, we'll give Dan a break on this one. Nice to be before you all again this evening. Dave Arminetti, Director of Real Estate Development for Housing Nantucket. Still getting a little used to saying that, but I'm proud to say it. Application for you tonight is a special permit to allow us to essentially complete the build out of our campus on 75 Old South.
Yeah.
Most of the board will recall this was an abandoned portion
Miller Lane.
of Miller Lane that was
Yep.
disposed of through an RFP process to Housing Nantucket back in the summer of 2010. And since that time, we've built out our office, which is on the far left. Thank you, Billy, which is a little over 2,000 square feet, primarily our office with a couple of small subtenants, including Habitat and a general contractor. We've since also built 2 one-unit apartments that Billy's pointing out on the left and right of the portion of the premises that we're seeking approval on. Those are 1-bedroom apartments that were both move-on structures over the last 5-6 years that have been tenanted the entire time. So the whole site is split zoned, as was pointed out in the staff report. The portion that we're seeking to develop on the right is all CN zoning. The leftward portion, 73 Old South, is actually still a remnant of R5 zoning. What we're seeking to do is develop 3 one-bedroom apartments on 3 levels, a basement apartment on the first floor and a second floor. Essentially, what we have is a math equation with some associated planning considerations. We require a special permit in order to develop more than 4 units on a single lot, regardless of the size of the lot. Under the underlying zoning, we could develop 9 on this site, but the way the apartment definition is written, there's a requirement for a special permit if you are seeking in excess of 4 units on any lot. And here we're seeking a total of 5, 3 to add to the 2 existing. And as Megan and Billy have pointed out to me, 5 is more than 4. So we need a special permit. We meet all the dimensional criteria, including parking. Ground cover here, if we develop as proposed, is only 13%, well under the 40%. Obviously, this would be a nice addition to the year-round rental housing stock in the community, which is our primary mission. Other than that, it would be, I guess for lack of a better phrase, rank hypocrisy if a attainable housing organization wouldn't agree to the conditions that the staff has proposed. And we essentially propose those up front, which is we're glad to agree to the year-round restriction. We're glad to propose the AMI restricted income and rent tenancy for all 3 units. And we would appreciate your support to help us add 3 more nice units of year-round housing to our portfolio and to the community inventory. So with that, any other questions, I'd be glad to answer. Dan is our surveyor and engineer if there are any technical questions that the developer can't handle. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Members. And Stephen, you're activated on this one. Yep.
I'll go.
You go.
Good. Thanks, Mr. Chair. So I think parking is going to be self-policing, right? There's nowhere else to park. So you're either going to figure it out or you're not going to have tenants. I'm not concerned about it. You're offering 2 more than are required. It's compatible with the area and the uses. And put some street trees in there for natural vegetation and visual appeal. I think it's going to be a good project. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Stephen. Well said. Anybody else? Public, anyone? No? Anyone in the
No
room?
hands are up online.
I would entertain a motion.
Motion to close the public comment.
Second.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Stephen. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's unanimous. All right, how would we like to proceed?
Motion to approve subject to findings and conditions stated by staff.
Second.
Motion made by Steve, seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's about as easy as you're gonna get.
Thank you,
Dave.
sir. I appreciate it. And it goes without saying, but given that it's been, I think,
Next
maybe-
application. don't
maybe
expect
2
it.
years since I've actually submitted and processed an application. We do appreciate the staff's effort. I mean, we don't take that for granted, and it's still great to see how efficient the organization runs here. It really is a pretty well-oiled machine. I know you guys get your fair share of criticism, but you should take credit when credit's due.
I was
Next
gonna
time
say,
is what
you know,
he's doing.
No, the next one will be harder.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave, and we appreciate all the effort that the housing folks put in to creating it.
Well done, Dan.
Thank you.
All right.
I wanted to make one comment.
Yep.
50 Union Street out there.
Just as we're closing the meeting, I wanted to let everybody know that I followed up with Megan after our discussion about neighborhood employee housing at the last meeting. And I just took some time after the meeting to look into the history of the bylaw because it came up in the meeting and we didn't really know. So what I shared with staff and I'll share with the board and the public is that the neighborhood employee housing, we put it in 2001, and then we revised it to its current form in 2013. And in 2001, in both forms, it was limited to a maximum of 18 people in two dwellings on one lot. But in 2001, it was actually limited per structure as well. It was, I think, 9. Don't quote me on it, but there was a limit per structure, and that sort of fell away. And then also there was some work on Martha's Vineyard that we might want to look at. So I just wanted to share that because we had, a pretty intense discussion and nothing to do now, just FYI, maybe some things for town meeting whenever
Yeah,
that comes around again.
and I'm happy to put it on an agenda for a more wholesome discussion as well.
Mhm.
So you can do that in the future.
Sure.
All right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Next planning board meeting is June 8th. And I won't be here. I'd entertain a motion.
Motion
Thanks, Dave.
to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Nat. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So that